Welcome back, everyone, to session 3 of Pandemonium. We're getting back with the crew. They are now level 2. Just got the new gear and some new supplies. We'll kind of figure out what they're doing with some of their downtime before they jump into their next big adventure. Before we do that, let's give a little bit of a recap of what's happened so far for the Gavels of Avacera. They've recently arrived in Eteria, a nation that is starting to pull apart. With the death of the Eternal Emperor, the man that has guided and led the Empire since its inception, the Empire started to kind of devolve into civil war with two factions springing up, the Loyalist and the Imperialist, and war is kind of on the horizon. But with that, the Gavels, being part of the Arbiters and part of the old High Arbiters crew, decided that they could make the best use of their skills, heading to Eteria and seeing if they could either find the Empire, bring peace between the two warring factions, or even just find out some of the other mysteries that are plaguing the nation. Because with this power vacuum, they found one of the new players, the Reclaimers, a sect of cultists devoted to Issei and trying to bring him back. And they all differ to whether they're bringing him back from the dead, freeing him from his imprisonment, or just straight bringing him back, regardless of the reason. They are very broken sect from what the group knew of their own of their history, with them all being kind of scattered cells that rarely interact. But with that, the group was able to kind of make their way into Eteria. They found that there were a refugee village with people trying to escape the nation, but the Empire kind of viewing them as cowards or kind of deserters at the worst. The Empire is a very collective group, and feeling that they were trying to abandon them, the Empire did not allow them to leave, forced them to stay in these kind of refugee-like conditions. And within that group, that area, the group met Olga, a young child who was eventually kidnapped when the refugee camp was attacked by undead under the control of the Reclaimers. The group was able to brave the elements, make their way across the sands of Eteria, and eventually find this Reclaimer hideout where Olga had been stashed, as well as this crystal, where the crystal, and I believe it was Wisteria, found out that the crystal was kind of a soul crystal used to capture souls for kind of occultist-like rituals. And with that, they found that the crystal had broken before they arrived, killing both of the Reclaimer mages that were keeping watch, but turning one of them into a white, and the group had to face off against the undead to save Olga. Fortunately, they proved valorous. They were able to rescue Olga and defeat those undead, and they found that too, that the Reclaimers had staked out 3 sections of Eteria. They weren't able to find the exact coordinates, but they had found that this group was a part of a portion, and the other 2 groups had different sections of the world, and kind of were able to jot that down. And with that, the group made their way back. It was able to celebrate with the villagers, bring Olga back to his mom, finding too that he was God-touched, though not exactly why. And then were able to make their way back and get some well-needed rest after a conversation with their old friend Shapak. And that's what we're going to pick up now. So you guys, it's the 23rd of Haven. The day is past. You guys were able to get some sleep, patch up any wounds that you may have. We're going to be getting into our first little bit of downtime. That's one of the things I always love having in a campaign, just so you can flesh out your character, or kind of find different things they may want to do. So with that, I know a couple of you guys already have some thoughts on what you guys want to do for your downtime. You guys have a week of downtime, and then either before, actually, we'll do that after. We'll kind of figure out where you all want to go next. I know you've got a good idea of what mission you want to do, but even today, I know there's some conversation on that, so we kind of see where the crew wants to put the Gavel's efforts to best use. So I'll kind of open up the group for the downtime section, see kind of what everybody wants to do. And don't feel like you have to use one of the options the book provides. If you want to do something that's reasonable, we can figure it out when we need to roll and how to handle it.
So this downtime we have, it's individual, right?
Individual and 2 things. Actually, that's a good question, because the downtime's individual, but you guys also do have a week of kind of like faction downtime too, for the Gavels of Avacera too, where you guys could This is going to be completely up to you on how we want to handle this. You could use it to try to recruit new members to the Gavels, to go through and spread your praises, to gather information. Kind of completely up to you guys. We can figure out kind of what roles or how we need to handle it.
All right.
Before the downtime, I did just think of something that I did not think of before, and let me know if this is possible. Could we have grabbed some like pieces of that crystal before we left?
Yeah, we'll give that to you.
Okay, cool. The broken soul crystal. I feel like that is good, like to have as like, I don't know, evidence maybe.
Well, I think Jeet had also suggested like sort of using that tower as sort of a temporary base during our downtime, and so having a safe place to stay would be kind of cool. And so I could see us like going back there during the downtime, and definitely we could pick up stuff then.
Okay, cool.
Yes, indeed.
One more question. We were supposed to go see Olga's mom. Would that be a part of the downtime, or should I wait until after the downtime for that?
Oh, we could do that. We do that after the downtime. Still be in that first kind of probably couple of days of the downtime, but you guys would have time in between kind of your activities. We can kind of fill that in there.
Sure. Got it.
Mockery. He's eager. He shall go first, unless anyone would like to first.
All right, what's Mockery doing?
Well, this is going to be... I'm going to have to break this down into 3 parts. The second 2 are more important. But overall, quick summary. Mockery wants to train up the villagers, or the refugees, in order for themselves to be able to protect themselves now that they have weapons. Is there any way that Mockery could, with how he's setting up his lessons, orchestrate any people who go to them get a discount on the weapons, to kind of encourage some to at least listen in?
Okay, so because with those are our Velnu's weapons, though, so he is kind of the one making the sale. So you would Mockery would have to kind of put a case to him. So you could definitely, because Velnu, he is kind of hanging out at the War's End Inn where you guys spent the night. I know he did want to kind of get some more face time with the group, so you could definitely kind of find him pretty easily.
I don't want to spend too much time on that part, but yeah, Mockery would find him. He'd bring this up. I'd say he'd probably bring it up while drinking with Velnu. He wouldn't push too hard for the idea, but he would still be treating Velnu to a good few drinks of some good wine, spending that gold he just acquired liberally.
All right, give me a diplomacy check here.
Yeah.
Velnu's very receptive. He try to fight you a little bit for buying the wine at this moment, because he is trying to make an impression with the group. But he's definitely kind of wine, sake, kind of sort of higher end shelves is what he's kind of aiming for. Solid. Yeah, you kind of see him look for a moment and kind of see him like you see his like. You see he's calculating. You kind of see him like almost adding numbers, kind of like weighing the options, and you kind of see him lift up his glass and go, "We can spare the coin. You've all done me a great service. If you wish to train these refugees and give them the confidence to buy more weapons, who am I to stand in your way?" You see him kind of raise his glass and kind of chug it down.
All right. And with that, Mockery will be trying to train the villagers. Still riding off of that, I swear he'll devote things to the gods as we go on, but still going off of Rog, the fear and fury, because he knows these refugees, they are afraid, and they should use that. What
Sweet.
would be? Oh, sorry.
Would this be considered like recruiting them? Maybe. I don't know.
This is definitely more so they have more defense for themselves and this little encampment they've set up. But if we did decide to recruit, maybe it can help.
Yeah, could be some good candidates in there. Perfect. So with this, so actually I'll ask Mockery. So how are you kind of going about the train? I know you're trying to inspire them to utilize their fear and kind of use that to empower them. Are you doing more kind of like a boot camp style, trying to kind of get them like kind of quickly the muscles ready for the battle, or are you trying to kind of give them more philosophy behind? What's Mockery's kind of training style here?
Mockery's training style is hand in hand with his religious teachings. Because he's going off Fear and Fury, he's going off of his own fighting style, he's going off of the Black Tusk fighting style. Barbarity, and brutality, butchery, and just baring your teeth. And with that, I think it would be best for him to use the lore skill Infernal Gods. While it's not quite as great as something like his Intimidation, I think Mockery would find that the teachings of Rog are essential for one to not be consumed by fear and not let the idea of loss stop them from success. For he brought his people back from the brink.
With that, are you giving more kind of the philosophy, or are you giving kind of the full religious teachings too? Kind of more like using the fear and kind of using some of the teachings of Frog, or are you kind of going through and proselytizing a little bit with the Infernal Gods?
I'll have to ask. Are these refugees in more so a crisis of faith at all? Are they questioning their own gods, or do they feel very solid in their belief? Do they have faith in their gods, basically?
It's kind of a mixed bag. Some of them do. Some of them are just kind of fleeing from Materia because the hard times are coming. And some of them have questioned their gods, the undead attacking, but it's mixed. Not a clean.
If it's mixed, then there are those without certainty. Mockery would definitely be going with the more trying to spread the religion. Then, though at the same time, he wouldn't try and force anyone away from their own god. And if they asked, Mockery would. He would encourage them to delve deeper into their own faiths with their own gods. Say, for example, what's some example of some gods for Eteria? We know Nar, but who else?
So Nar, so God of Fire for Nar. Dana is worshipped pretty heavily, the goddess of death in Eteria, as well as Sinsu, the Dragonborn god of warfare and chivalry.
Yeah. Mockery would also very much encourage all of those, actually, yeah. And for those who are in doubt, he would show them why Rog would bring forward their fervor, their frenzy, their faith.
Mockery, you would know, no check necessary with kind of your devotion to the Infernal Gods. There is a little bit of a, not hostility, more hostile than rivalry, but not like outright war, between Rog as well as Nar and Sinso. Where Sinso kind of represents more kind of like the strategy of war, kind of almost the art of war, to be a cliche there. Rog is more kind of the brutality, almost just kind of the straight fury of war. There's a little bit of rivalry amongst the two with that kind of just split there. Both definitely are kind of the keys for Eteria.
Oh, he'd absolutely try and stomp that out. Like, during his teachings, if people wanted to pick on anyone who starts joining up Rog, or the other way around, he'd absolutely stomp that out. They're in Eteria. They're under one emperor. They do not get the chance to be at each other's throats.
Okay. Give me an Infernal Gouge roll. See how well you spend your week trying to train up these refugees.
I'm going to use my hero point immediately this session.
Okay.
There we go.
Much better. Yeah. You so these are most of these people have never held a sword in their life, never kind of picked up the spear. But yeah, with your training, and I'm giving you if you want to add an extra flavors, you're able to like they're not going to be like they're not going to face down any of you guys, but they're trained enough that they could at least defend themselves or at least kind of buy some time to get away. They could know how to swing the sword. They know how to do some of the defensive flourishes. Know how the best placement for the spear. They're still novices, but actually they're now novices. They're somewhat trained and can at least hold their own.
All right. Mockery would, for the flavor of this, Mockery would definitely be pretty scary. Not quite boot camp, but definitely have his voice raised. But I'd also say he'd be referring to people by their name. But like he'd learn each of their names, refer to them only by their name. And would probably not be the most liked, unfortunately, due to if he sees a mistake, he calls it out. He doesn't really sugarcoat it, and he tells you what you're doing wrong and how to improve, and then he moves on. But yeah, that'll be Mockery.
Yeah, end of the week too. You do kind of see this kind of like middle age. You'd think probably like late 30s or so. Lizard folk come through, and you see kind of like he's practicing with his spear as he comes up. And you see him kind of nod his head. He actually like kind of quietly he passes over like this note to you, and he goes, "Gratitude." And you see kind of like in the note as you open it up, because he like gives it and kind of not scurries, but he quickly moves off. And you do see like kind of a quick script on the side. Your teachings opened my eyes. Thank you for your service. Thank you for showing me a new way.
Holy shit, already? In that case, the day Mockery gets that letter, he'd be showing the rest of the gavel. He'd be crying. He'd be like big tears, big eyes. He'd be so happy. Blubbering about like stuff, always wanted something like this. Occasionally mentioning getting it framed.
Well, Mockery kind of spends the time making sure the refugees are affordably armed and making sure they actually know how to utilize the weapons they purchased, so they're not, which makes sense, because you give some people that never swung a sword, they're more likely to probably hurt themselves to do anything positive with it. So you definitely get them trained up there. But who wants to go next and spend their downtime?
I can go next.
All right. What's Wisteria doing with their week?
So first things first, she's been itching to do this for a while. Now that she has some money to her name, she's gonna try to craft a repeating crossbow. She has a formula that she got from a friend of hers back in Mokoin, so she knows how to do it, and has most of the supplies from what we found in the tower, and then has a bit more that she had to purchase. But
perfect. Yeah, Velnu would let you know there's a forge not too far, and then he kind of let you he's got stake in it and let you utilize it to be able to go and kind of forge and start carving out your crossbow. Sweet with that. So we've got the blueprint, so it just takes 1 day of setup, and then I think it was 15 GP for GC.
All right.
Nice.
Yep. So I will just go ahead and pay the full cost and craft it right away.
Perfect. And how does Wisteria kind of go about crafting? How does that process look for her?
So crafting is not her primary trade, but she did pick up a lot of odd jobs making all sorts of different things through her youth, and just to more out of curiosity than a need for coin, because she's always fascinated by how things work. Typically, that's more on the societal scale, but that carries over to mechanical devices as well. And I think she would really kind of like isolate herself during this day of crafting. She really enjoys that challenge of like having a task to do, having the resources to complete it, and getting it done. And that's very satisfying to her. So she wouldn't like explicitly say anything, but the other characters would probably notice a joy to her step having this more elaborate and complex weapon hung on her back. As for the crafting process itself, a lot of it's like taking different pieces of wood and very carefully measuring it to exact specifications, cutting pieces to where they fit together properly, and binding them to where they have the strength to kind of sustain the weight of the string as it gets pulled back, as well as all the little mechanical details that help the repeating function of it load and fire bolts quickly. And she just kind of gets lost in that mindset of the mathematics and engineering of it for a day.
Nice. Well, you end the day with kind of your brand new repeating crossbow. You've still got 6 days of downtime left. What are you thinking of doing?
I'm going to try to spend the next 4 days to craft 4 magazines for the crossbow.
Perfect. So you can map out those 4 rolls. And while you're rolling those, what are you thinking for your last 2 days? 2 days.
Let's see. So I think I'd like to see if I can earn income with Velnu by using my skills as an accountant and my experience in bookkeeping to, if he needs like me to like going through ledgers and trying to find ways to optimize price for different things that he sells, or like work on logistics and planning out routes. If that's something he's willing to offer, I'd like to earn income for 2 days that way.
Yeah, Velnu would definitely be happy to kind of, he wouldn't open up his books to you, but definitely for planning routes and things like that, he'd be more than happy to kind of take up some of your expertise there to see if he can optimize that and pay you a sum for it. Sweet. So sounds like, would that be society that you're trying to earn income with?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, give me a society check.
All right. And I'm gonna add my eye for number feat. I think would apply here. So I'm gonna use a hero point on that.
Fair. Much better. Yeah, that's a crit success there. Yeah, so you're able to go through, you see kind of like different routes that Velnu has the supplies coming in. And you see, especially like with the Civil War brewing and some of these uncertainties, you're able to find some paths where you can go through and either optimize the time or at least reduce the exposure to risk of something breaking out and losing the cargo. And you're able to save them quite a bit of money as you kind of go through and set these up for the last 2 days. And with that, because you got a crit success, I can't remember with earn income of crit success.
So I have it open right here. The crit success is gain currency equal to task level +1 in the income earned table.
Same thing for crafting. Sweet. So yeah, you bring in so 5 silver pieces a day. So yeah, 1 gold coin for both days, or 1 for all together for 1 gold coin.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to roll those crafting checks for the magazines.
Perfect. Nice.
2. Oh, that was DC. And the last one, failure. Okay. So I just get the 3, but I don't lose materials for that last attempt.
Yeah, you had a kind of a solid day or a solid week of crafting. One of the batches was bad, probably just bad materials that Wisteria was working with, but you're able to get your new repeating crossbow and some ammunition for it as well as find or earn Belnu a little bit of extra gold and earn yourself some as well. Forever, who wants to go next?
Oh, one other thing, I'd probably not spend too much time, but maybe like an hour or two sit in or participate in some of Mockery's lessons. Wisteria has recently picked up a rapier, and I mean she's trained in martial weapons, but she's gonna some extra practice wouldn't hurt, and so she'll kind of stand alongside the refugees, following Mockery's lessons to the letter, doing everything as precisely and perfectly as she's capable of.
That's kind of perfect because I was about to chime in and say Mockery would absolutely congratulate Wisteria on completing the repeating crossbow, since he always would read her notes. He'd pick up on that very quickly.
I think we established Mockery, or maybe Mockery. I think maybe Jeet too was probably the only one that's going through the group histories from Wisteria's. Perfect. Jeet, Will, Beric. Who wants to go next?
I can do it. Glad handing, hobnobbing, mingling is what Will's going to be doing. I want to gather information about the who are the people nearby that I need to know. Who are the people that I need to ingratiate myself to? Who's important around here, and what do they think? What do they know? What do they want? That's what I want to know. I want to know, like, who are the important people in the area, and what are their goals, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, give me what would that be? Diplomacy check.
Oh, actually, I guess technically this should happen first, but also I want to get a set of nice clothes.
Some nice clothes?
to be able to sort of... Will has been trying to blend in with the general populace, but it has been unsuccessful because he stands out, unfortunately. So he's like, you know what? If I can't blend in with the common folk, perhaps I can blend in with the nobility.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know how much does it cost to get just a good, nice set of clothing to sort of mingle with the upper crust of society.
I will look that up, but as I look that up, what does that look like for Will? What's his new, what's Will's fancy clothes that he goes?
Oh, that's a good question. I really should have thought of that ahead of time. I think he's got to, everything's gold, right? It's black and gold. It's got to be black and gold. That's his whole vibe. That's his whole thing in it. It'll bring out his eyes, I guess.
So yeah, nice or fine clothing. So it's in the system, 2 GP to purchase that. So, and just for a little bit of reference, regular clothing is 0.1 GP, so a silver piece, I think. So yeah, it's definitely, you spend some gold on this, but yeah, you're gonna attract some attention. And I think it comes with some stats. Oh yeah, this lets you get a +1 bonus to make impression checks, so kind of persuasion checks with people of the upper class.
Nice. So I think gather information is a diplomacy as well. So would this work for that, actually, now that I think about it?
Not for the gather information, but if you did meet somebody from that and wanted to kind of get some, once you kind of go through the gather information, there was one of the people that stood out and you wanted to interact with them, you'd get that +1 diplomacy.
All right. And sorry, you said 2 gold?
2 gold.
All right. Got it. Purchased. It's in my inventory. Perfect. All right. So gathering information. That is with diplomacy, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go. I believe in myself. Oof. Yikes. It's a natural 1. Ugh.
Do it.
Do it.
We're burning the hero points this entire game.
We're leaving this. We're
this
leaving
is more
downtime
important
with
than
no
any-
hero points.
This is going to be more important than any individual role in combat, I think. So,
And while you re-rolled, I can't remember if I mentioned this to this group or not, but I do have a house rule that if you ever roll 8 nat 1s in one session, actually, what doesn't matter with Pathfinder, there's no advantage or disadvantage. But if you roll 8 nat ones, you get a free feat. The whole crew gets a free feat.
Oh wow.
Well, it
Like-
this came out from one of my first. It was the first session with a new table, and like this girl that was playing with us at the time, she rolled 7 nat ones the first session. Even if you give me like her advantages and different things, like it was just so many nat ones. So like if anybody beats this record, everybody gets a feat. So yeah.
Nice.
I've
All right, I
seen it
think I
happen on
probably
my own
still
table.
failed,
It's
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you do still fail. I mean, you're able to kind of get around, and Arga's like it's a bit of a trading town with it being so close to the wall of Eteria. And there are some like fancy folk around, and you do get a little bit of information. You kind of know that the two kind of key players in town right now, at least, well, the Lord of Arga, kind of a Lord Ixio, Exio. He's a minor lord. He is not really part of the major clans, but he is responsible for kind of running Arga and kind of maintaining the gate. So he's a small lord with a decent bit of responsibility. And you learn a little bit about him. He's pretty like stringent. He's very by the books. A little bit like not as hospitable to foreigners as you'd expect for somebody that mans a trade town, but kind of get a little bit of details on him. And the other one, you guys have already met him. Velnu right now has become one of the more wealthy and major players in the city as well. But yeah, definitely you're able to kind of show off your new duds, but yeah, it's kind of get a little bit of like people aren't as free to open up as you'd expect.
It's all right. Okay then. That, I believe, is my downtime.
Sweet. At least you got some pretty cool new threads, at least.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Belric, what are you guys thinking?
Go for it.
Okay. The first thing that Jeet does before getting his official downtime started is he wants to commission something. Does anyone in the group consider themselves an artist? I mean, the characters. Does any character in the group consider themselves an artist? No, right? Okay, cool.
Well, so you're thinking about it.
I mean, he's probably had some training in arts, but probably not, depending on what you're asking for. No, I'm gonna say
Okay. In that case, would Jeet have seen any of his work or seen Will's sketching or something like that?
Nah, not really. That's not really Will's thing. He's more of a performance artist, but not even particularly that amazing. He kind of hated it when he was doing it, so probably not.
Fair.
All right,
what's
so
in commission?
Jeet is going to find an artist, maybe on the cheaper side, and commission a logo for the Gavel of Evacera.
Okay.
He will describe to the artist what the gavel is, what we stand for, and then commission 4 different pieces of art by the end of the week so that he can choose and pick his favorite design. But he will pay half upfront, half later. I don't actually know what the services cost for this would be, so we can
We'll just say
decide this.
3 silver pieces. So we'll kind of pretty much say it's like an earned income for them. So
Yeah,
not ready
sounds
to
good.
pay.
Yes, he will. So this is just phase 1. In the next downtime, we will go on to phase 2 of what to do once we have the logo. But what he actually wants to do with his downtime is crafting.
Yeah.
He will spend his entire 7 days crafting something far dumber in the sense of less elaborate or sophisticated than things that Wisteria has crafted in a single day. But for him, this is on purpose. He is going to craft a folding ladder. And the important thing is not the ladder. I think the ladder is fine because it just fits in perfectly, like the amount that it costs and the amount that I can craft with crafting assurance, everything like lines up perfectly to 7 days. It's 3 GP, I think, total. But the important thing is, like, he has all of these urges right now to do so many things, to write a letter to his mother, to write a letter to his father, to write a letter to like his monastery, and he decides, using his high wisdom score, to not do any of those things rashly, and instead to just think upon all of the things that he has encountered. And so he will spend 2 days setting up for crafting this folding ladder. He doesn't have the formula, so it's 2 days of setup time.
I have a basic crafter's book if you want to borrow it.
Yeah, I have it too, but it only covers the core rulebook. It doesn't cover other rulebooks.
Folding
So even though
ladder,
this is, it's in the Gods and Magic rulebook. It is a 0 level item of common rarity, but it's not in that rulebook, so I don't have the formula for it. So yeah, 2 days doing the setup. And then for each of the 5 days that he spends covering the cost for it, there's like a specific question that he's pondering, not related to the crafting, as he like thinks through the events that have happened so far and what he needs to do. So that is going to be his downtime.
Perfect. So I feel like Jeet's kind of definitely one that does a working meditation as he tries to kind of clear his mind. Okay. Sweet. Give us a crafting check.
Okay, I'll make a roll just for the fun of it, but I'm hoping that assurance will actually
never mind. You got assurance. Yeah,
cover it up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I forgot you took insurance. Yeah, so yeah, you're just methodically going through with stuff. Probably same like crafting area you guys both have. But Stereo kind of like in and out crafting ammo and all that. But you kind of like go through with just like a sturdy design, like a steady pace, kind of just quality design there. You're able to kind of bring your craft build and kind of get that folding ladder. And kind of, what's his mindset like after he's kind of spent this week and kind of like come out with this creation?
Okay, so he has now answers to some of the questions. No, we should not go talk to the High Chancellor or the High Prince. No, he should not go return to the monastery. He should maybe talk to his mother, not go back to the family farm, and it doesn't matter if he doesn't know if mockery is good or not.
Fair enough.
More certainty.
Wrong, a different question answered.
Yes.
Perfect. You guys are able to spend. Oh, actually, no, Belric. Belric, what are you doing?
Yes. I am going to dedicate all my time to Bear. I'm actually going to dedicate crafting, a barding.
Okay.
For Bear, a light barding, because I think he's still relatively small. I'm realizing that I got a little more gold than I thought I did, so I think I can afford it.
Nice. So you're able to definitely kind of a little bit of a group body. I'm not sure. Well, Jeet's probably focused in on his meditations, but a little bit. You guys are all kind of in the same like a blacksmith crafting area as you guys kind of start focusing on your own inventions. But yeah, let's get a crafting check. Let's see how this armor for Bear will look like. And while we're rolling it out, and kind of think about what that armor will look like for Bear, because it's sick that he's gonna have his own armor they can kind of rock up with.
Sure. Yeah. Hold on. Sorry. Figure out how I would.
Light burn. So sweet. So yeah, if you can just roll crafting from your skill things, it'll get in there. I'm not sure. There's a spot in your character sheet you can roll it in there, but we can just do crafting, make it easy.
Okay.
And barding is level 0, so you just have to hit a 14 or better.
It's a cake. All right. Well, I will tell you how it looks after I know if I make it or not. Right, bear with me here. All right. Here we go. Big money.
Oof.
Yeah, that's the third nat one for this.
Yeah, let's I'll follow suit. and use my hero point.
At least every hero point's work today.
Nice.
So
I
yeah.
love
Not
the
all
idea
of
of the gavel.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Constantly at the brink of absolute collapse and failure,
Yeah.
but through sheer whatever these hero points are able to pull through.
Sheer plot armor.
Yeah, I mean, I think the, like we're in kind of a desert territory, so I'm gonna try to like adhere to, I guess, maybe the architecture and just like the dressing pattern. So like the barding will have like a little bit of like, I don't know, a Middle Eastern flair to it, but also like it'll have like a little bit of like towards the front, like the potential to like cover up his eyes so that like he can travel well through the sand in like another dust storm, because that was probably the first time the bear experienced that earlier, and he's trying to avoid that in the future. So it would have a little bit of a, I guess, a desert flair to it.
Perfect. So kind of like a little sandy type coloring to it.
Yep.
Nice. Well, you guys see at the end of the week, Bear comes out, kind of fitted up with his new armor. It's kind of with that visor as well, blocking out the sand and kind of that desert thing to it. As you guys like put the forge to work over your weeks, it kept coming through with new weapons, new tools, new armor. It's really kind of bringing that part of the crew together. Don't forget. So you spent 5 extra days, or because you don't have the formula to the barding, right?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Sweet. So that would be so you'd save 1.5, so it'd be 8.5 gold you'd have to spend on that side.
Okay.
Yeah, you get able to bring that armor in. But yeah, now you guys are able to kind of reconvene, kind of start plotting your next moves, and kind of see where you all want to go next. There's a lot of things on the table for the crew right now. During your adventures, you found the locations, or kind of the general area where the reclaimers have staked out their sections of Eteria working along the River Rhea. You found two from Spock that the Imperial Guard had kind of made their way back to their training keep and have kind of holed up within. You've learned as well too that General Thrax is in the northern regions of Eteria trying to investigate the missing villages. And of course, there's a civil war going right now between Eterran and Sona, or a civil war brewing, I should say, between Eterran and Sona, with the Supreme Chancellor still in Eterran, as well as this new High Prince in Sona. So, what's a crew? Well, where would you guys go for your next steps? And you can say you guys are talking this over in the War's End Inn. You've got your little kobold Beshnik with you as well.
I have a question. For the Civil War piece, Squad 7 is currently the ones dealing with that right now. That's their current goal and mission they're tackling.
They are. So you heard from Spock that they are. They initially stopped at Terran, but they're going to be kind of splitting their time between the two, trying to see if they can broker a peace.
Got it.
How much would it cost for a map of Eteria?
A map of Eteria? Let me see. I'll look that up as you guys are going through.
It's on the home screen right in front of you, obviously.
Sure. I just want to have Wisteria come out and just lay a giant map across the table that's got like notes all over the place and lines connecting different things, and as we kind of plan this all out.
So yeah, they've got a survey map. A little pricey, but the nice thing with it too is it gives you a +1 to survival checks, as well as any recall knowledge that deals with kind of the map area. And it's 10 GP for the survey map.
I have 1 GP, so unless anybody else wants to put in for that.
That is a little pricey, I feel like, for now.
And this is kind of like a detailed map. You guys have like kind of like global, kind of what you guys see in front of you on the screen right now. Kind of more the global maps where you kind of have general directions for things and have to rely on your own sense of kind of navigating through. But this survey map will be detailed, showing you where every little hill is, the water, all of that piece.
All right. Well, she'll roll out our world map instead. That's not as detailed. And I mean, so obviously we have a lot of options ahead of us. am nervous about getting involved in the political sphere quickly without building up a reputation, especially with what Squad 7's done to put us down. I think whatever we do, our primary goal should be building back up our reputation, but through actions rather than words. There's a lot of ways we can accomplish that. But I think probably dealing with the reclaimers would do a lot towards that goal.
Will, sort of like standing a little bit back from, like sort of leaning against a wall, just listening in, and was just says, right, I know, we gotta keep it, we gotta play it cool. Let me just, yeah, that sounds like the best way to go about things. We could certainly build up a reputation for ourselves if we make ourselves known by our deeds and by destroying the undead abominations plaguing these fine people in the Terria.
Does Rashanael have any other interest in doing that? Sounds like
Rashanael has no other interests.
Who's Rashanael?
Perhaps I never got a chance to tell y'all. For anybody here who I must have slipped my mind, Rashanael is an ancient ancestor of mine who hails from the higher planes. That's you could probably tell just looking at me that I am from Lumox, and I have angel blood running through my veins, but I'm a special case in that I can hear her voice speaking to me just about all the time. It is certainly something, we'll say that.
So you have family who's always looking out for you. I could only imagine how much of a ease of mind that is.
That's certainly one way of looking at it. Honestly, though, it is a great boon having her around. I can use her power, and by speaking in her voice, I can sort of make things happen. That's the source of my magic, her voice.
So that is what returned me to life earlier in the battle. On the subject of the Reclaimers, I vehemently agree that we need to take care of the Reclaimer threat. That's why I believe we should go to General Thrax. This is what he's looking for. This is what he's trying to fight. He's trying to help the missing villagers. And this is why they're going missing. We bring this to his attention, and he can use his men, his resources, to be done with the Reclaimers in quick and precise motion. Or at the very least, we can help. And I doubt he'd let us help too much, but we could still possibly do other jobs for him if he doesn't. And we can't do send him a letter either. Huh?
Mockery, as far as I understand, the missing villagers is a separate issue from the undead threat. The undead threat has been plaguing the Riveria, and the missing villagers is a separate supernatural issue that has been happening on the northern coast. I say that if Thrax is investigating the missing villages, we let him be, since he is trying to help out the common folk. He's maybe the only other person doing so. And we tackle the other issue, which is the Reclaimers along the Riveria. We know where their sects are, like right here and here. And Thrax is all the way over there, so we would have to go far north, crossing 2 different deserts to meet him, and then cross the desert back again to come back to Rhea to go to the sects.
And also, you guys know the regions they're operating out of, but it's pretty expansive. You guys have to do a decent bit of searching to find where the Reclaimers exactly are.
And so Mockery will nod, and he'll look at you. I didn't quite think of it like that. I thought they were behind it. I trust your judgment.
And I have to say, I do not know for certain that that is not the case, but all of the reports that we have been hearing, Wisteria, correct me if I'm wrong, the reports that we've been hearing have been marking these two things as separate issues, yes?
Well, the matter of the fact is that we don't really have evidence one way or the other that confirms or denies these being two separate issues. It could be that whatever strategy the Reclaimers have for reviving Issei required two major components, one being Solus and one being something else related to the North Coast. And so maybe it's two different factions or sectors of the Reclaimers working on two different ends. But I'm just sort of theorizing at this point. We really won't know for sure until we gather more information. So either way, I see it's heading in that direction, and we should definitely keep our eyes and ears peeled for any other details that might clue us into whether these events are separate or related in some way or another.
You see Beshnet speak up a little bit, and he goes, well, it doesn't have to be Thrax, but it may be a good idea for us to find somebody with authority. They're calling us deserters, and you all did desert, and I had to follow along. But it may be good for us to have people that say we're not deserters, with voices that'll carry.
We are not deserters. The Arbiters tried to put us onto things that the gods should be doing. But we are Arbiters. We are to bring order. We are not here to simply solve all the issues that the gods need to be facing. We are here to give the people what they need to hold on to. And you see him stop for a moment and try and ponder his words correctly. As you see for a moment of flash in the pan, anger sees mockery at the genuine idea of being called a deserter. But you can tell it's not from himself being called that. The quick flash, the idea that's clear on his face, clear as day, is him realizing everyone else here of the gavel being called a deserter, and he has to take a moment to just be quiet, and he kind of sits down, lets the subject drop then and there.
You see, Beshnet was he had his claw up, like he was gonna say something, but sees that quick flash of anger, and then below his breath, but still audible, he goes, "They told us to go there. We went here, deserters." And he just kind of says it quietly.
That's why we need to take drastic action to build up our reputation. Because if we can stop these Reclaimers and save all these souls that have been captured, then at that point, I'd love to see anyone call me a deserter to my face. Because
who would believe us? If we stopped the Reclaimers by ourselves, who would believe us? I personally have accomplished a great many deeds, and many people don't believe me. They simply don't. I have heard a great many things about all of you, and I still don't know what is truth and what is giving us Shinzo a giggle.
That is a very polite way of putting it. I do see your point, Mockery. We do have contacts into either of the courts. If we could get any kind of decree, mission, just a writ, even just a simple writ saying that we are authorized to take out the Reclaimer threat, that would go a long way, because whoever gives us that writ would want to then loudly proclaim that, hey, the people they authorized to do the job did the job. Oh my goodness. Okay, I was not sure if we wanted to go to Outer End and Sona. No, I was sure that we did not want to go to Outer End or Sona, and now I'm uncertain again. But if we had to choose between the two, I say we go to Sona.
Well, there's also the idea to consider that we did just I don't think I told you all this. I've been asking around, talking to people, and perhaps we could get the blessing of the local nobility. I believe is Lord Ixiel. Perhaps if we inform that fella of the threat that is posed to the people in the area, we could perhaps get his blessing to go out and take care of this.
The guards, when the attack happened, they defended here. They defended the walls. They did so in haste and with knowledge. I'm hesitant to believe that this noble lord is entirely clueless on what is going on, and I am also hesitant to say that he would want to see us.
Perhaps, but at the very least, if we wouldn't even necessarily gain his blessing, but to simply tell this fella that we're planning to go out and deal with a threat to his city, then at least somebody in a position of power is aware that we are solving this problem. Then, when the people, the common folk, realize that they are no longer under threat, then, well, this stuff spreads. And we will have verification beforehand that we were setting out to do this. Just a thought.
And Mocker would nod along, smiling at the end of that right there.
Could I, hearing this name from Will, do a recall knowledge check to see if I know anything about this political leader, or if he might be open to this kind of idea that we're proposing?
Unfortunately, it's fairly minor, so it'll be a hard DC to see if you picked up anything for him.
Okay. I can just do the...
During all this, Belric is kind of looking back across the table at who's talking. That's about it. Focusing on his beer.
Belric. Would you rather be crossing deserts or trailing along rivers?
Aye. Bear's equipped to cross deserts now, so... aye.
Wait, so which one? Which would you prefer?
Water sounds good to me.
Wistera, you have heard of Lord Axio. Not too much. I mean, he's fairly minor. He's mostly due to his control of the border and control of Arga. You know that he is regimented. He wants everything precisely the way it should be. He's very, in kind of a little bit of will-found, distrustful of outsiders. He doesn't really. He's not one for political advancement. He is really one of those old guards who wants to do his duty, do it well, and keep everything running on time.
So it sounds like he'll help us out if these undead are an issue for him and getting in the way of things running as smoothly as he wants. But if not, then I think this will be a hard sell. It really depends on how much of an impact the Reclaimers are having on the society here. And given that we are kind of far out from the river of Rhea, I feel like there's probably not been too many attacks other than the one that we were involved with. So we could still, pursue this path, but it seems like he might not be open to it.
You make a good point.
If we head somewhere closer to the river of Rhea and try to get involved with get the ear of some noble there, that might be more likely if they've been really suffering from undead attacks.
True. All right, well, then it seems like maybe we have to forego the backing of the local lord. Just a thought. Well, either way, I feel like if we go out and do this, people will hear of it. But if suddenly the attacks just stop happening, that's not necessarily a guarantee that people will know who did it. We'd have to advertise. That doesn't feel right. Advertising your heroism feels a little, unheroic.
Doesn't matter what it feels like. If it gets us more power and wealth, I think that's the right way to go.
I must bring up that even if people know that we were the ones to do it, we must be careful. Our deeds, no matter how noble, can be turned against us and twisted into terrible things.
As you
Right.
guys are speaking to, you do see kind of another round of drinks come through. Pretty much what you'd ordered the last time, but you see not too far behind it. Velnu kind of tentatively approaches, and he does that one where you can tell he's been waiting to kind of come up to you guys for a bit, but he didn't want to intrude. He kind of comes up, gives a short bow, and goes, "I see you all have been busy at work during your week in Arga. I don't mean to intrude, but as I said, I wish for us to have a partnership, and I know last time we spoke, you needed time to consider that. As I said, I think we can make each other succeed. I'm curious to what your next steps are and what your thought on our partnership is. As I said, I've put a decent bit of coin towards you all as well, along with the villagers, and as I said, I'd like to make you sure you succeed, whether we become partners or not. But I'm curious to what you all are thinking next."
Have you seen any increase in sales since our agreement with my lessons?
I have. The refugees now are quite eager to defend themselves after the attack, as well as your instructions to actually show them how to utilize the weapons. I'm in your debt.
And Mockery would give a big smile to anyone who wouldn't know him. It'd look a little scary and a little predatory. To anyone who does know him, it's simply Mockery smiling. He's just happy at the fact he's gotten praise.
You see kind of Velnu flinches back a little bit at the smile, but without any, especially with the predatory grin, but he does kind of re-straighten himself up, kind of flex out his robes a little bit and go, "As I said, I wish for a partnership, and we have partnered together, Mockery, and we've already seen success. I believe we can replicate that. But I'd love to be a resource for you either way. If you're so gracious to share what you are doing next, I'd be happy to aid your endeavor any way I could."
Will's gonna look at the rest of the group like, "Are we doing this?"
Mockery would be nodding
Wisteria.
frantically.
Wisteria is like about to say something, but it's like then kind of glances at the others and is not sure if she should, but she seems very eager to get involved in this.
All right. Will is going to turn back with his biggest, most charming smile, as if, he's been like this the whole time. And he's going to be like, "Well, Velnu, we have been looking at a threat that's been plaguing the land in the region around the river. Yes, there seems to be a cult of Eastsay worshippers who are trying to bring him back in some way and causing a lot of problems for the locals and bringing a lot of undead into existence and all sorts of other terrible things. And well, we were just speaking about the fact that we didn't really have any way to spread the word about our good deeds, how we didn't really have any serious backing from those who know the right people around here. And I think you just might be the person for that."
Well, I do have the ear of quite a few people. But, and you kind of see, like, he points, and Velnu, he's not Dragonborn or Kobold or even a human, so he doesn't really, he kind of points to the lack of scales, and he goes, "Well, I do have the right ears occasionally, but I'm not a Tarian. I'm not one of the people. You all, depending, if you want to handle these cultists, if I was me, if I wanted to do these great deeds, but also make sure the right people knew, the right people that can help me do further great deeds and spread the name of the Gavels far and wide, I would do one of two things." He nods first to Jeet. "Jeet of Clan Abe, your mother is climbing rapidly within the Imperialist court. This may look like you are taking sides as the Gavels, but that is a hard contact to pass up. She may be able to add legitimacy, but that'll come with you all appearing to be imperialist, for lack of a better way to put it. The other way, though it's a hard man to impress, General Thrax, while he's dealing up north with the villagers, you could try to convince him of your worth and see if you guys could partner together to solve these two issues. He's a hard man, well loved by his troops, but some say intentionally politically inept. Some say he puts his foot in his mouth sometimes. Loved by the troops, loved by the commoners, the nobility, imperialists and loyalists, he does not have many friends. Even less so now that he said he wants to be on his own. But he's known as a man of integrity. If he says that you are honorable, even those who hate him will believe you are honorable.
We are very honorable, and I am one of the opinion that we as arbiters cannot take any sides here if we are to uphold law and order. If at any point we seem to be swaying to one side or the other, it will crumble the very foundations of our purpose here. We are to bring back the Emperor, to unite Eteria as a whole, not help spread the war and bring people under the knee of something that was not Eteria before.
Be that as it may, I will just put, with you having familial connections to the powers that be, the Imperialists, they're in a good position right now. It could be lucrative. It could be a great way to establish the galleys. But the choice either way is yours. This is your endeavor. Whichever way you decide to go, I do have a bit of pieces I could to help support you, but as I said, I am interested in a partnership, and I want to make sure we can reflect that.
Will's going to turn to Agnijit and say, like, well, Agnijit, what do you think? What do you know of your mother's position in the land of Eteria? Do you think we should be aligned with her?
If we have to choose between the Supreme Chancellor and the High Prince, we should choose the High Prince. If we have to choose. If we have to talk to General Thrax, that's a lot of desert to cross to remain neutral. Like a lot of desert to cross. But it would mean we don't have to run into the other arbiters.
Well, it's getting more and more convincing that perhaps we should go see this general. Maybe I can just bend his ear just a little bit. Who knows? Perhaps it'll be easier than I was thinking. We'll see. What do you say? Y'all want to try?
Any journey is worth it to ensure that the people of Eteria have a safe and prosperous future. Guess willing.
Well, I'm starting to think differently. If Sona's a bit closer, and that time traveling across the desert is more time, that Squad 7 will be besmirching our name, ruining our reputation. By the time we get there, General Thrax might have heard all sorts of fake, awful things about us. Whereas, what Belnu's saying about the Imperialists, they're rising strong, and if we could get a piece of that, I think that would be very helpful for us. Still towards our endeavor of dealing with the Reclaimers. And then she'll kind of turn to Jean and just very bluntly say, can we trust your mother?
Yes. Depends on what you trust. You want to trust her for, but yes. You can trust her to believe in the glory of Narya. You can trust her to believe in the glory of Eteria. You can trust her to advance our cause as long as it aligns with the High Prince's. Beyond that, you will have to make your own judgments.
I am 100% sure I've asked this question before and you've already answered it, but I can't remember. remind me again. The High Prince is trying to do what?
Well, one world, one empire, or at least, at first one Atari, one empire, and then one world, one empire, or at least that's the dream. Whereas
so
the
world domination, then.
Dominate, it's just an ordering, right? It's just putting things to an order. Right? Domination implies you want to take control and, puppet everything that happens, but just putting things in the right place, at the right time, so everything is more efficient, is the desire. You won't see the inefficiencies of the world.
Mockery's nodding along with this, fully agreeing with it, but he will pipe up. Despite our connections to the Imperialists and my own personal agreement with their values, it isn't about that. We cannot take sides.
Well, after that, he's gonna pointedly turn away and be like, "All right, so let's go talk to the General Thrax then."
Phil Nugo, that's a valid choice there. Though I do fear turning away from power, but neutrality is a power of its own, I guess. As I said, with this, General Thrax, honorable man, I do have an inn that can help you with this, honorable man.
An inn is the only thing we were waiting on. What did you have in mind?
I wish us to be partners. As information is power, and people like you, arbiters, the people that get involved in these situations often have a lot of information and power to trade. I'd like just to be cut in on your information. In exchange, I'll share my own information with you, and I do have hefty sums of gold, and I'd be happy to share the gold and even share some of my transportation resources if need be. But we need to be partners.
I think that, more than anything else so far, makes Jeet interested in what Velny was saying when he said transportation. See, now he has his ears. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in our line of work, it seems like secrets are pretty easy to come by, and so making a little extra coin off of them, I think it's a great way to help build up the gavel.
Will just kind of looks at everyone with an eyebrow raised, like, what do you think?
I believe this is the beginning of a very long, fruitful, and beautiful relationship.
So we are partners. I'll draw up some contracts. Just really boils down to, and read it over. Wisteria, I'm sure you're familiar with the process. But you'll share information with me, I'll share coin and my information with you, and together we will both rise.
May I make a request with these contracts?
Mhm.
May they be blessed by Corinius and Makash. Both.
I'm sure you're aware that they don't really get along. And while I'm willing to overlook that with our operations with you, I know you are a follower of Makash. And you also out of character too. You guys know he's not really reached the divine direct. He's not reached cleric or priesthood yet completely.
Yep.
And he looks super nervous at that.
Will is going to look at Mockery like, Mockery, give us a moment. I think if that's going to be the case, I think I will be physically unable to sign the document. I don't think that would be my body capable of
then
such a thing.
Just mind.
So,
if you need an excuse, you can always say I twisted your arm. Most believe I do such things.
You might have to literally do that, is what I'm saying. Like, you might have to literally twist my arm into doing it, because I don't think that Rashane will allow me.
Just for my contract.
Mockery? Well, I cannot ask Makash to bless the contract. I'm sure you could, though. And I can't, when you sign the contract, I can't stop you from praying. You're the Hound of Codenia. My hand was forced. So if you wish to bless the contract, you are more than willing to. But this will be a fruitful partnership. I'll leave you all to sign. Once you all, if you decide to sign, let me know. Because while it may be somewhat distasteful due to your current reputation, there's a way that you can get into the General's Court very easily. And with that, he'll kind of take a step back. And out of character, I'll see, basically, the contract boils down to exactly what I said. Wisteria, no need check for it. He's not trying to pull one over on you guys. It's basically sharing information that you think would be relevant to him. He'll pay in gold and resources when he can.
Mockery will pray to Mukesh and attempt to bless his personal contract there.
I think Wisteria would make some suggestions of tweaks and refinements solely out as like a power play. Just to say like, I'm not like, there's nothing you could have given me I would have been happy with.
You see kind of Veldu looks it over and like you see like he's got a smile on, but you see like his eye not twitching, but it's like narrowing. Like he like no insight necessary, but he'd normally argue the hell out of this just for the power play himself. But eventually he goes, I'm surprised I didn't see these myself. Great tweaks, Wisteria. Great. But it sounds like you guys are signing?
Absolutely.
Very reluctantly.
Veldu,
with Mukesh's blessing.
You kind of see that Veldu turns away as you do your prayer, kind of just like looking at the wall of the pub. But yeah, you guys
are blood and a gold coin.
You kind of see, looks back and sees the blood on it. It's like, well done, Mockery, I guess. But yeah, with that, he's actually gonna bust out. He puts a bag with a box and a bag on the table. The bag, 30 coins. He goes, in earnest of our partnership, I always like a partnership to be fruitful both ways and to make sure that the flow of information goes. And he also puts in the box, you have kind of like this slate. Like it looks like a slate. It has like this little pen attached to it. And it says, this is a two-way communication. I can send messages to you. You can send messages to me once a day. I request that when you come across something worth sharing, you share it. And I will make sure through my connections that golden resources are sent to you, even if I am not in your general vicinity. But I also promised you a way into the General's Court. As I said, this, with your current reputation, may be a little bit distasteful, but it's going to earn you a long way with a man like the General. My associate Cole, I believe you've met him. Cole, you guys, is the kobold that had the stolen weapons. My associate Cole has come across 3 deserters from the Atarian army. They've deserted the legions, and not only did they desert, they hit a supply train before they went, taking gold, taking weapons, taking armor. Now, I would ask a little bit of discretion for you. I'm not going to pull the wool over your eyes. Some of the weapons we sold to the refugees came from them. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. But if you bring these 3 men to the General, either their heads or they're alive, your choice, it'll earn you some credit. The Atarians as a whole hate deserters, but General, more than all, he's very conscientious about honor and duty. So it could be an easy way to earn yourself an audience with him.
What are their names, descriptions, capabilities, contacts?
Well, I couldn't say for their capabilities, but I do know that a kobold, I believe Cole said the kobold had a wand on them, I'm not certain. But the ones you may have to be wary of, there's a lizard folk quite big, as well as someone with a touch, kind of a gift with fire as well. So, just something to be cautious of, but if you could bring them in, he'll at least meet with you. And if you can get your foot in the door, I'm sure you charming folks can secure his patronage and find a plan to help the people.
So we go out and we capture or kill individuals who are deserters and bandits. And we gain access to his presence? I
You
see this as an absolute win.
That's the spirit. And they were requesting kind of fake passports to be able to go along the wall, so we do know where they're at. So I'd pass this along to you. Do what you will with them. Just bring enough proof that the general cannot doubt your honor. So, my carriage will await you. I'll have my driver ready to escort you all to the general's last encampment. But otherwise, stay in touch. Enjoy the coin and to a new partnership. You kind of see him raise his glass, clink that drink. You kind of give you guys your own space again.
A round for the follower of Corinius. On me.
Stereo will.
Mockery,
join
you
in
just
touch.
made it weird.
Perfect. So yeah, you guys have transport. You guys know where if you want to go, and you don't have to nab the deserters. You can kind of try to get on your own merit as well, but you do have a path forward with the general there. Yeah, we'll take a quick 5-minute break. Come back and kind of see what you guys are thinking, and kind of get into some of the action with the adventure.
All right.
Not forgetting Olga, of course.
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah.
feel good for us too.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, we'll be back in 5. Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of session 3. The crew just made a partnership with Velnu, got some gold, and got the location of some deserters they can take care of, we'll say, to ingratiate themselves with General Thrax, who is kind of out the northern regions of the Empire, trying to stay impartial and bring stability to Eteria. Two things before we head on. I think you guys wanted to deal with Olga. Is there any extra supplies you guys want to grab up on before you guys head out to the deserter camp?
Drinks. I'm not talking about water. Mockery is of the opinion if you need anything, you can like the basics to sustain yourself, like water, food, shelter, and all that. You can find that in the wild. Making drinks takes a long time, so he'd be getting enough so the party can celebrate if we achieve any victories.
There's some, I don't have it in front of me right now, but they've got like some good like alcohol you can actually like purchase that gives like different effects. So I would check that out. I know they have regular alcohol too, which has like different effects. They have like some other ones like more kind of differences in there. So check that out. Regular alcohol is like 0.01 GP. I think it's a copper, if I remember right. So stock up all that, but check out the other ones too. You can kind of get some cool stuff with it.
Would 2 gold get us enough for the trip plus some?
It's gonna get us some kegs, buddy.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's like 220 or that's 200. That's 200 bottles of alcohol.
Yeah, let's go with
we have
a
a dwarf,
GP.
an orc, and a mockery.
Hey, I mean, I'll tell you what. This is a
I
rare
forgot Wisteria was an orc.
This is a rare circumstance. I'll join you, and I'll go halvesies with you. But I'll be like, yeah, let's stock up on some booze. Maybe not gold worth, but we can get enough.
A silver worth would be good. A silver worth a piece. That way, I don't know how much that. Check out your load bearing because that will affect it eventually. It's light, but I think 10 will stack up eventually.
You can get a keg of ale for 2 silver pieces, which is 2 bulk.
Keg of ale?
The kegger?
If you guys can carry a keg or have the bear or Bastionet's now near encumbered. Maybe the bear carry the keg for you guys, but
My God, this is fantastic. Yes, this is my dream.
We have a keg harness for the bear.
Oh. So
I
mockery
fashioned-
will have these.
you did just make armor for him. I could say you did have a spot to...
It has a special mount specifically
It's
for
like
the
one
keg.
of those like Arctic dogs with like the water and medicine on them. Like right underneath their neck, just like in the middle of battle, he just pours himself a drink.
My campaign is already climaxed, you guys. Like, I got a bear that's carrying a keg of beer for us. It's over.
This is what happens when the quartermaster steps away for 5 minutes.
What? Alcohol on a bear? Does not know about the dangers of that?
I feel like
He would relent.
you guys bought a lot of water. This is a keg. This is the keg.
It's a keg of water.
We can find water easily. Water's everywhere. Mockery says, in the desert.
Mockery spent most of his life in Codidia, where there's like pretty much water everywhere. So yeah, you can see.
We'll simply correct it the next time it rains.
Oh yes, there is something actually I do need to. Manacles. That was a thing that I might need to get. I have some money. I can spare the cash to grab it. How much would a simple set of manacles cost?
3 silver.
All right,
simple you said?
I don't know what's the normal.
Well, the simple actually means a word there, or has a because there's type poor, which is 3 silver pieces, which is level 0. There's a type simple, which I'm like, oh, okay, this is where he's going for. 3 GP. I'm not sure what the difference is in checks for it.
I think it's probably like a higher DC to break out of it, probably.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that.
All right. Well, you know what? If we're gonna be cops, we might as well do. Yeah, you know what? I can afford it. Let me get. Oh wait, sorry. One more question. How many of them are we capturing again? How many people?
3. There's 3 of them, depending on how many you guys want to bring back. But
right. So 3.
let's-
So it's 9 gold total for me to get 3 sets of manacles.
I'll be right.
Wisteria might propose saving the money for something else. But that's just her mindset. If you
We
It's
have
important
rope.
to me that we.
and get the poor manacle.
Rope is cheap.
Rope is also cheap. You're right, but you know what? I'm gonna get the poor manacles. You've convinced me.
Okay. Do it 3 of them or just 1?
I want 3.
Okay.
Actually, I'll do you one better. Buy 6 poor manacles. We can bind their legs as well.
All right. So you buy 3,
I think
you
I'm
buy
okay. I'm
3?
just on 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna get 3.
Sure.
Oh.
What's Will's pitch to Mockery about letting these guys live? And how would Will approach Mockery for it?
I think Will's gonna come back carrying these things, looking downtrodden, perhaps. And if Mockery is gonna bring up the fact that we're definitely killing these people, like, well,
You can tell he's not bringing it up, but you've seen how Mockery do so far.
Mhm.
And
okay, so he's gonna bring them back, thinking, just saying to everybody, all right, well, the way I see it, these folks, all they're trying to do is survive. They're just trying to get out of what they believe is a deadly, dangerous situation, and I can't begrudge them that. Especially considering that the place that they dedicated themselves to, you know, when they joined whatever military organization they joined, they thought they were supporting the Emperor of Eteria, and the Emperor of Eteria is not around anymore. So, where I see it, I can't personally begrudge any of these folks for wanting to get away from it all. At least that's my mindset. And hence, and that's why he holds up the 3 sets of manacles that he just bought in town. I can imagine like the shop, like where he bought this. Like, yes, I am buying these for a completely normal reason. You know what? He's just gonna have, in order to explain it away, he's like, listen, you can't judge me for what my proclivities are, so it's better if they think that I'm a freak.
I go through 3 of these a week.
Would I know like what the law is around deserters? Like, if we turn these guys in, are they just gonna get executed immediately?
pretty much.
Publicly executed, yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah,
Dang,
I mean,
that's-
Wisteria would probably
I
bring
hate
something up about like, we're trying to get into General Thrax's good graces, and knowing people like him, probably he'll feel better about it if he were to do this himself, whether or not he would like to admit it. So I think bringing them alive would be ideal, but if we can't, I mean, they're gonna die anywhere. It's not a big deal.
Definitely will pipe up.
Not a
and
big deal.
The General probably want to hear why they deserted. He usually does carry out sentences by his own hand as well, so he would probably appreciate getting to see them.
I mean, they-
need the combat to for 0, but I can do this. I can do that.
we don't know the full story here. Like, we're not, you know, I could be considered a deserter of my homeland too.
Sure, but you're not in the way of us building up our reputation.
We take these men and take them back alive and let the justice system of Eteria through it. My vote.
If they were only deserters, I would feel far more sympathetic, but they stole weapons. Not just gold, weapons, armor, and sold them.
We just transported some of those weapons.
Walker, think for a moment.
We're yeah.
Just
we may be considered the gavel, but I don't think in this circumstance we should be the judge, jury, and executioner. Let's leave this to their own devices to work out.
I will dedicate that combat to even 0 and pray for their health.
right.
After Will, Belric, and Wisteria are done talking to Mockery and they sort of move away, Jeet goes up to Mockery and says in a low voice, "Mockery, can you convince me to kill them?"
I'm sorry, I gotta turn you up for a second.
Oh, can you convince me to kill them?
Mockery returned to Jeet, just like, how would I convince you?
I don't know. A lot of the things you've done and said in the past, 2 weeks, it's been unusual and prophetic and somehow always the right thing. So if you think we should be killing them, I have to know if there is some kind of
I do not say
advance.
these things to convince you one way or the other. I say these things to help you be the best you can be.
And can I be better if I kill them?
Well, ask yourself, what does it provide to you? What does it provide to the land, the people, if you kill them?
Nothing. Nothing.
And Mockery will not.
Okay, so wait, and now the rest of you can hear as well because he's getting frustrated. So you're saying that I shouldn't kill them, but you are okay to kill them?
Mockery will actually look to him. I dedicate my combats to the infernal gods. I pray that the souls of those I slay are able to pass to wherever they may. But if they are truly evil and vile, they are dragged to hell. If I have seen too many ills to hold back sometimes. I do hold back a lot, but I will admit I am.
No, that doesn't sit. That doesn't sit right with me, Mockery. You are still deferring judgment to someone else. You are saying someone else will judge, someone with better judgment. And the others are saying the same thing, that someone else will judge with better judgment. So, in fact, if we look at it from your perspective, then killing them or not killing them is the same. Someone else will decide their eventual fate, whether divine or mortal.
And Mockery will actually smile from that. You sound like a wise teacher.
Take that back.
Will walks over, was not listening to the conversation before. He was like, y'all, my nose is bleeding. Y'all, is the air particularly dry today, or?
No, it's fine. We're not going to kill these deserters. And in a huff, Jeet just walks up ahead.
Mockery will stop Jeet for just a moment. I mean it. You are a wise man. I have much to learn from you. Thank you. I had not seen it that way.
Yeah, you're welcome. If we ever get to the Burning Dragon Monastery, it would be great if you could put in your referral for me as one of the wise people, so I could be promoted up higher in the hierarchy. But that's for later.
You would bring
Can I
me to
get
your
your phone number
monastery?
so you can be a reference?
What was it Mockery said?
Yeah, he said, you would bring me to your monastery?
Oh yeah, the monastery is great. It's very hot, but it's great if you can stand the heat. You should all come in and check it out. Very peaceful, again, if you can stand the heat. It's very, very hot.
Mockery looks very honored and unconcerned for the heat.
All right, Velnu, point us to where we need to go.
Yeah, so Velnu will give you kind of a map showing where the deserters' camp is at, and kind of set you guys off. So yeah, you guys are able to. He gives you a pretty nice carriage where you guys. He's got his driver and one of his men along with, but they kind of load you guys up in the carriage and begin kind of heading off.
It's very lucky that my signature spell just happens to be one of the very few non-lethal spells.
Oh, cool.
I will say, just so we don't forget, before we go, Olga.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Dang it, we forgot again.
Mockery would not have. During that week of downtime, at some point, could Mockery and Belric have took him hunting?
Yeah, you guys would definitely guess to go hunting with Olga. Olga is like, he's got that little kid energy too. So he's like 10, so he's bouncing around as you guys are trying to show off things. Definitely kind of excited to be going hunting with you guys. You did see that his mother was like, not apprehensive, but after just I'm nearly losing him, she almost had to be convinced again to let him go hunting with you guys, where she's trying to almost keep him within arm's reach. But she did allow you guys to take him hunting. And yeah, you would get a moment alone with her as well for the whole party too, in case you guys had some questions.
I'm going to
For
be
the
perfectly
mother?
honest. I cannot remember why we were going to speak to her. Oh yeah, we were going to like ask her like why is her son a god?
He just got touched, yeah.
My brain is failing me right now for some reason, but I would like Will is going to do it in the most charming way that he can muster to like try to very casually just ask like, hey, what's the deal with your son? What's going on there? What's his deal? Why is he a god? Did you know that your son was our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? Because that's very interesting. I'd like to learn a little bit more about that.
Mary?
You kind of see as you asked, like you saw what you asked about it first in the camp. Like she went like rigid a little bit, but even now she's still kind of. She promised to tell you. She seemed like you saw like for a moment, like she opened her mouth and you kind of see like she was plotting, not plotting, but a lie was about to form. But then she kind of shakes her head and goes, "I owe you my son's life. You can see as she takes another sigh and goes, I haven't told anyone this for some time. It's brought more trouble than it's worth. I kind of hoped in Materia he would just be a kid. He would just get to play ball, go hunting. But it feels like trouble follows us. I met Olga's father back when we still lived in Phasia. We were kind of, my father owned a tavern, and one day his father came in. And at the time, I thought he was just a special person. He kind of brought this energy into the room. He spoke and it kind of boomed. The world kind of felt like the world almost revolved around him. And he took an interest in me, and it was like I was the only person in that world. We got together, and a little while after, Olga was born. But unfortunately, I haven't been, and his father kind of continued on his travels before he was born, and I haven't been able to find him. But after he was born, the kind of day of the birth, lightning cracked, thunder struck, and the priest said that he was a child of the gods.
Is Mockery there for this? Right?
Yeah, I think the whole party would be there for this. Yeah.
Mockery would immediately sit up and he'd point, but not in like a. For the party, they know it's not like it's not accusatory or anything like that. For anyone else, it doesn't know Mockery. It would look like the judgment of God. It's like he is a son of Sansa, like the great Edric of the Grove.
No. Yes, but no, not like Edric. I will not let my son grow up to be forced into being a crusader, being forced to do these great heroic deeds just to earn his father's notice. No, we left Phasia.
I understand better than you understand, my dear. We just had a little bit of curiosity. We were worried that these people were targeting your son for that reason.
Well, this is the first time we're claiming
your son of his capabilities. Your son is special, and not just as some god touched. In the attack on the village, He had seen what those creatures could do, and he still decided to fight. He still decided to stand. And after he was caught, and we had rescued him, he was brave. He was so brave. And one of the first things he wanted to do was spend time with a large bear. He is a brave soul, capable of such great things. He would not be chasing Sansa's love. Sansa, I guarantee you, already loves him. He would simply be doing what he could to aid the world.
Give me a diplomacy check on that one, Mockery.
All right. Oh, shit.
Nice. You see, like, she pauses, like, she kind of, as you're speaking, like, she had her hand up, like, she was gonna, like, interject and try to cut you off, but you kind of see some realization, like, she still does not look happy, like, after she kind of, like, but your point breaks through, and she kind of hangs her head and says, especially as, like, you speak of him, like, trying to fight against the undead as, like, a 10-year-old boy trying to stand up against these things that were cutting down grown men trained with weapons, and you kind of see, like, it's like a small bit of pride mixed with, like, a lot of, like, worry and, like, almost a resignation after your speech too.
And Mockery will even continue.
Yeah.
All that. And he lived. He survived. And he will keep surviving. And one day, whether you like it or not, whether you support his adventuring, his curiosity or not, one day he will wake up. And he will not be the same. And Mockery will kind of gesture to himself and his own kind of corruptions. He will start to change, and you will realize his divine blood, and you will not be able to keep it from him. And his heart will soar, and his steps will crack like thunder, and he will move on with or without you. And I'd like to see Olga move with you. You seem like an excellent mother, something many people don't have. And he deserves the love of his mother wherever he goes.
You kind of see, like, a few tears kind of streaming down, like quiet tears, though she's not, like, there's not much noise coming. She just goes, I just wanted him to have a normal life. I thought leaving Phasia, it would just, nobody would know. But even in Cordinia, people came for him. Now people come from here. I just want life to be easy for him.
Right. Will is going to sort of gesture at his own face, just... Ma'am, I assure you, whatever happens when it comes to your son, I can speak from personal experience that whatever destiny, whatever the gods have in mind for your son, he will still be able to make his own choices. I can tell you that from personal experience. And his eye twitches a little bit.
You see, like, a little bit of relief kind of comes into her face. It's like, I want him to make his own choices. I don't want him to have to fight. Zonda, people say that he's one of the most just of gods, and he was to me, he was great. But all of his children, they're judged by the deeds they've done, the heroic endeavors they've undertaken, many how they sacrificed their lives for the greater good. And I don't want that for him. I don't want him to be a footnote in Sanda's legend.
Right. Well, I assure you, if your son does not want to pursue that life, if you impress upon him that he has his own life to live and his own choices to make, then, well, he can end up wherever he ends up, wherever he wants to be.
May I make a request to you? Mockery will look to Soga's mother.
She kind of, like, she doesn't say anything, but she gives, like, a slow nod.
May I offer to Olga an apprenticeship of sorts for him to travel with us. We are to travel across the Terria. Yeah. And while I do not see him entering any combat situation with us or anything of the sort, if he is to grow into a wise man, it is best he sees the land he lives in. Best he sees the people he will one day defend if he so chooses.
With that, you guys see her shaking her head, and she goes, it kind of like she points to your armor, she points to Belric's bow, Wisteria's repeating crossbow, Jeet's armor and spear and shield, and she goes, "You lot are warriors, and even if the journey is safe, you will either throw yourselves into danger or danger will be thrust upon you."
The same has happened to him. And
I think it's best if the boy stays with his mother.
I disagree. I do not think that atrophying his skills is a good idea, but I also do not think that coming with us is a good idea either. We are going to be facing mortal danger. That is not necessary to develop skill. You just need a mentor, not necessarily one that faces mortal danger. So if you can find any hunter, any person that you trust who knows some amount of martial training, survival training, then just apprentice him to that person, someone who maybe does not face mortal danger on a weekly basis.
You've got your you have your symbol of Nar around?
Yes.
She'll go, where were you trained?
The monastery. Burning Dragon Monastery.
Did they force you to go out and do this after you had your training? Were you able to? Could you still choose?
I chose. I was given a set of options. I trusted the advice of the mentor that had shown me, well, who had shown the signs of the best judgment. So, yes, I chose.
Would they protect him if anybody came?
They would protect him, yes. But because he is not touched by Nar in particular, he would not have a place of honor among them. They would teach him, yes. They would make him capable of survival, yes. But he may have to face hardships, not of the physical kind there.
I don't want that. She kind of looks and says, Olga himself doesn't know that his father was divine. I don't want him to have that privilege, as some would say, or burden, as I would call it. If they would treat him like the rest and let him choose his fate once he has made his own skills, I'd rather him go there and at least we can get out of this camp for a while.
Well then, yes, the Burning Dragon Monastery. Take him there.
I'd hate to impose upon you further, but would you lend your name to us or write a letter of knowing that we've met with you?
I shall. I will put my name to it, and I shall address it to my mentor in particular.
Thank you. And she kind of looks at the group and says, thank you all. And I still don't wish for him to, and this is no offense, to take your path to adventure, to throw yourselves at these dangers. But you're right, he deserved a chance to build his skills and see what he can do to at least be able to defend himself if people come for him again. And with that, she'll take the note Jeet writes, and eventually you do see her kind of like heading into town with Olga, and kind of like all of their their meager possessions in hand, and kind of beginning the path towards the Burning Dragon Monastery.
Mockery will wave goodbye to Olga.
And actually, so Olga, for Mockery and Belric, what'd you guys hunt during that day?
What would be something we would hunt in a desert? I would
Iguana.
imagine like iguana.
Crocodile.
There are
Crocodile.
if you go by the water, there are crocodiles. There's a lot of kind of like desert wolves around you. Even some like desert what's that thing called? It's like a type of deer that's in the desert. Like, we'll say desert deer because I can't think of the name right
Antelope.
now. I think it is antelope. Thank you. But like,
What would be
desert deer.
something-
Go ahead.
What would be something that Soga could kill himself? Like, I imagine Mockery and Belric could basically take down anything they wanted. But what's something they could set up for Soga to be able to either take down or at the very least coup de grace himself?
The antelope, or it depends on how you guys are hunting. With Belric, the bow, I can teach them how to use the bow. The antelope would be pretty easy. Even one of the wolves wouldn't be too hard if you guys backed them up with the bow. But yeah, kind of those would be the easier choices for them. The crocodile would be a little bit beyond them, probably.
Maybe like a mongoose or something like martial, like just something like vermin.
Yeah.
Whatever the case, but
You guys definitely are able. We'll go with the mongoose on that side. You guys are definitely able to kind of take him hunting, successful hunt. And I think as he like walks away, because I'm sure Belric, you're probably pretty good at like making stuff out of a pellet, right?
yes,
What does a mongoose look like now that I'm thinking about it?
like
Either
a
way-
weasel or something. Yeah, give him a little. I mean, he's a younger kid. Maybe like a little. I don't know, a little accent on his shoulders or something that goes across like his shirt and onto his back,
Sure.
maybe.
And as you guys see him walking away, like he is pointing to it like excitedly. He is wearing it for all it's worth, kind of trying to show it off as he and his mom kind of begin their trek to the Burning Dragon Monastery.
Mockery will yell out, "The gods' guidance upon you, and may Norse fire light your way." And you'll look to Jeet and give him a nod.
You guys see like Olga wave like, yeah, fire, and all that. I'm gonna learn how to use fire. Yeah, fire. And kind of just like waves, super excited to begin his training with his mom leading the way. But yeah, with that, are you guys anything else you want to do before you head towards the deserter camp?
Y'all, I think perhaps we should do this by the book. You think we should announce ourselves for this? We could perhaps be more successful if we tried to do this stealthily, but that doesn't sit right with me when we're trying to, administer the law. And I'm I'm looking for an excuse to use the bullhorn spell.
Fair enough.
We are together. Why hide it?
Because hiding can be an effective strategy for getting surprise on enemies when we need to.
We do not need to surprise the enemy.
You might
So,
not need to.
but
I'd
but
like to.
so but they think like we're approaching them with passports. So this is like the most. Are we talking about the dissidents right now?
Well,
I
they
don't know
were
what
trying to
this-
make a deal with Cranius and Cole for the passports, but you guys can try to play that angle.
I mean, we could. Yeah, okay. So we could just be like, "Hey, we're the guys with the passports, idiot," and then fork it over.
I would rather not go the route of such kind of deceptions unless you would permit me to, rather than Vincero, dedicate the combat to Sinjo.
Well, dedicate it to who you want. We need to figure out the most effective way of doing this. Sorry. That was Belric in the Infernals. Like there's a pass there, so sometimes it gets a little short.
Mockery will actually correct. No. There's a vast difference between the god of health and the god of chaos and deception. With Vinshiro, yes, he is cunning, but it would allow me to forgo my blade. With Shinzo, I must make it entertaining.
All right. Well,
I think we want to forgo the blade.
right. All right. I suppose we should just do it the easy way then. Let's approach.
I mean, I'd like at least to try to get a lay of the land and see what sort of fortifications or weaponry they might have before just diving in there. If I could maybe like scout ahead when we get there, but doing so stealthily to try to see what we can find before we get noticed.
You know what I would like? I like the idea of like us like approaching, and then like Wisteria like hidden by a window or something that they might jump out of or something like that. It isn't. They're on a tent probably, but you know, have Wisteria hide near the back door in case they try to make a run for it.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like so you guys are going to be kind of one part of the group is going to be kind of going and announcing themselves. Wisteria kind of a little bit ahead, trying to see what she can kind of scout out. All right, Wisteria, give me a stealth and perception check.
Alrighty. There's myself. There's perception.
Yeah, so you come through with the desert. It's kind of like hard to truly kind of mask your trail and try to get the drop, but you do get a good look at their camp. At this camp, like you see 3 tents, kind of 3 smaller tents, kind of big enough for a person to one person to kind of lay in. But you do see the 3 kind of sitting around the fire as you approach. You do kind of see that they've kind of tweaked to your approach as you come in, but you are able to get a good look at the 3. You do see kind of nearest to where you're approaching from this giant lizard folk. He's got a big shield and a wicked looking flail at his side. You see him kind of sitting by the fire but standing to his feet as he hears. Next to him on the other side, you see like this personally, it looks like his skin is on fire. He's got horns, but not like a tiefling's horns. Like horns, just like deep red, almost like a kind of a burning flame. It almost seems like to be kind of mixed in with them. And you see potions on his belt and around him. At the front of the kind of the triangle of tents, you see like this little green kobold who's got a wicked looking staff, and next to him, his eyes seem to glow green as well. But they kind of peep your approach, and you hear him go. The lizard folks kind of bellow, goes, "Who approaches?"
Oh, it's in my direction.
Your direction.
I'll say something like, you were the lad who ordered the documents from Velnu, right? I'm his associate. You might have seen me working around his place if you went to town at all.
All right, give me a deception check.
I
And
imagine.
while Mysterious doing this, what are you guys doing?
I imagine we are somewhere relatively far away, just kind of watching, maybe, because she's trying to scout ahead, right? So we're not right there with her. Trying to maybe just casually hanging out somewhere nearby, looking like blending in with the crowd, perhaps, maybe.
Mockery is very clearly amped up for a fight. A little bit bloodlust in his eyes. That's what he's doing. He's amping up.
Lord.
Yeah,
As
see-
a
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, as after she says, I don't know, after she looks like she's done talking, Will's actually first time I get to use a new spell. I'm gonna cast message to Wisteria and see now that she's like speaking to the people, and just say in her mind, if you need us to come rushing in, put your hand over the top of your head.
And you see the lizard folk, kind of phalanx warrior, gonna raise his shield and go, Cole said nobody else would come. Cole said he'd come to us. Who are you? You are a liar. And you see him kind of like start twirling his flail.
How far away is he from me right now?
Right now, probably about 20 feet.
Okay. Is he like approaching me?
Yeah, he's approaching.
All right. I'll say, nah. Cole did the boss bad. He's out. I'm his replacement. And as I'm speaking, I'm gonna quick draw my crossbow and shoot it at him.
Okay.
All right, let's get into initiative then. Throw you on the map. All right, guys, roll initiative.
Oh dang.
Can I roll a deception for initiative?
I can go with deception.
Not as good as stealth, but it still gets me my.
There's like that meme where they're like, better call the cops, but not for me. And then he pulls the gun. That's what I'm imagining right now. I still have.
Oh, damn.
Nice. All right.
I'm reloading. Sorry, I have clumsy on, and when I was trying to get rid of it, it told me to reload.
I think it's because you're encumbered. So you might.
Oh yeah, you are encumbered.
Yeah, I got a keg of beer.
Thought Bear had that.
I know. I'll switch it up. I'm just gonna roll.
Yeah. So yeah, if you could, because Bear can carry some stuff, so you can switch some stuff over to him too if you need to get you unencumbered off. All right.
Pyro, what? That's a potion. That's a bomb thrower, ain't it?
Pyro
Thrower.
sounding name.
All right, G, you are very quick to react at this. You see, Wisteria kind of getting ready to shoot. You see the phalanx warrior swinging his flail. What do you do?
Okay, so out of game reminder, it's a -2 penalty to turn any lethal attacks into non-lethal, but I think you can do it with every attacks. In game, Jeet says, "Okay, we're trying to take them out without killing them. Oh, this should help. This should help." And he casts Bless. Puts Bless aura on himself and raises shield. End of turn.
Nice.
Oh no. Hold on. Holy cow. Okay. All right. I guess I'm gonna target this pyrochemist,
All right.
and I am going to start with. I'm gonna put my hunted prey on.
Despite the fact it's already been established, I do want to ask for the bit. Non-lethal, right?
Can ranged attacks. Can ranged attacks be non-lethal?
I'm pretty sure they can. They just have the same -2 penalty. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm sorry. Is it Hunter's Edge that I want to do?
Oh, you're doing the 100 shot for the double shot?
I want to do hunt prey, right? And then hunted shot.
Okay.
Me
Yeah.
too. It's like having trouble casting. Right.
Maybe you have to target him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta pop back in. Sorry. Yes. Target. Pop in. You guys.
No worries, man.
Target. All right. Targeted.
Sweet.
Get there. All right. Here we go. I would assume my short bow would have been drawn.
Mhm.
Strike. At this point.
Nice. That'll hit.
All right. And this will be the precision. Yikes, dude.
Ooh.
Yikes. All right.
Snake
Just rolling
eyes.
again. I'm gonna miss.
Second one will miss, unfortunately.
And then I'm going to use my animal. And
Isn't it an action to give him 2 actions?
It is. Luckily, Belric has a hunted shot, which gives him 2 shots for 1 action.
Ah, fun.
yeah, I don't think I did my actions right there, but at any rate.
That sounds like you got it. I just didn't know that you had a double shot thing.
Nice, you can reach too.
I'm gonna move bear. Here. And then we're gonna have bear. Jaws. He's gonna take a bite.
Fortunately, you
Gonna
see
miss.
the pyre kind of shot in one side, it kind of dodges aside the other arrow, it kind of maneuvers out of the way as Bear comes charging forward. All right. Hysteria, you are up.
Alrighty, I'm going to let's see. Yeah. Assume that I didn't have my crossbow drawn because I was trying to approach this somewhat peacefully just to start off, but I have the quick draw feat, so in 1 action I'll draw my crossbow and fire a shot.
Nice.
And because I rolled deception and beat him in initiative, he is flat-footed against that attack.
Nice.
Got him.
Solid.
And I'll use my Predator's what is it called? Predator's Claw to get the crossbow critical specialization, if that's how that works.
Yeah.
For
Oh, that's so
somebody-
cool.
Roll critical damage. And I'm gonna actually look that up real quick.
Wow.
Jeez.
I believe it does bleeding damage or something like that.
Yeah, they added a special to the remaster.
Yeah.
Nice. How does that shot look as you get it off?
So we're trying to have this conversation, and just mid-conversation, I fire a quick shot from the hip that catches him completely off guard and goes deep into his thigh. Crossbow. The target takes 1d8 persistent bleed damage.
What?
Nice.
And you gain item bonus to the bleed damage equal to the weapons item bonus to attack rolls. Do we get
So
an
plus
item
1 right
bonus?
now.
Okay,
At
so
second
it's
level?
1d8
Yeah.
plus 1 bleed damage. I just hit a artery and there's blood gushing out of him. And then for the first time ever, I'll take a second attack on my turn.
That's kind of insane.
It cost me 3 gold, but Still hit.
Ooh, nice.
All right, put him down.
Sneak attack.
Holy!
Oh my god. That one round would have been enough to take out Mockery.
So much for the bleed damage. Oh, I was gonna use my last action to run away from him, but now I don't need to. I'm gonna take a hide action to try to use this tent since I'm like don't seem to be in direct line of sight of the other two.
Perfect. Give me a stealth check, private. And how does that all look with those 2 shots going in?
So just 2 shots, one in the thigh and one in the chest as he kind of stumbles backwards, and there's like a pool of blood on the ground as that critical really hits that artery.
Is that non-lethal, by the way?
Let's see. I don't. I mean, would you let me like kind of retroactively say she tried to not go for that lethal shot? I was just kind of wrapped up in the description there, or because it would have been -2 to hit, or is it -2 to damage if it's
-2 to hit. The first one was I think nat 20. Yeah, it was nat 20, so you're good there.
Yeah.
The second one still hits due to off guard. Yeah, so yeah, you'd be good with non-lethal for both.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'll hit him in the thigh and then like the shoulder, and he just passes out from blood loss, but isn't dead yet.
You see the blood's kind of staining the sand, but you do see his chest still rising and falling as this large lizard warrior kind of crumples to the ground.
And there's my hide check.
All right,
His turn.
Will, you're up.
Well, I guess there's no more need to announce ourselves.
I don't know. That bullhorn though could be cool.
Kind of the thing I was you kind of have to do before combat. I don't want to use 2 actions.
Fair.
What I would like to do is I'm going to use a new thing that I just recently got. I am going to use Bon Mot on Pyrochemist. I don't know. He doesn't look wise in that image, so I am going to target him, and I am going to attempt to do that somehow. Oh, it's no, it's a roll. So
give me a diplomacy check.
Yeah, do I click that button? Ah, dang, that's a crit fail. All right, so I'm just announcing. Trust me, friend. This is not going to go well for you. I suggest you surrender. But it clearly does not work.
Unfortunately, like you see, like he just glares at you, flames streaking off of his face as the one-liner falls. Unfortunately, a little bit flat. That was a crit fail.
Oh, actually, something bad happens to me in this
You
case.
take the effect of Bon Mot.
Do we have a group hero point you could use? Is that how
You
that
do
works?
have like I think I gave you a couple earlier for RP, so you guys have like 4, I think. Let me pull that up.
I would like to avoid the negative blowback from that.
Sweet, you got 4. So if you
I'm
wanna
fine failing, but the crit fail is nasty.
Will deserves a win.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try using that.
Alright.
I don't know if I can do it because of the Oh yes, I can re-roll and keep the new result.
Or with these ones, we keep the highest. So this will hopefully be higher than that. I think you can. Actually, you can't go lower. So you
Can't get any lower.
a little bit different than the typical.
Oh no! It says no actor is associated with the role. I'm not sure why that would be the case.
Maybe just give yourself a hero point and then do the right click roll.
Sure.
Take it from
Sure.
the group.
That will be slightly easier. Cool. Now will it let me? Yeah. Dope. Dang.
So luckily not crit. But yeah, you do see he still just kind of glares back at you.
All right. Well, if that doesn't work, then I'm going to do it the hard way. I am then going to cast Daze on this unfortunate fellow. So he is going to have to make a will save. I'm going to do the amped version of it too. So.
All right.
It's a basic DC 18 will save.
You'll fail.
Hey, roll damage. And this is the one of the very, like I said earlier, one of the very few spells that is non-lethal damage. It is 1 damage though.
You see, how's that look as it goes off, too?
This time, I just look at him and he just hears a voice in his head. Your body fails you. And that drains some of his confidence and ability to fight away from him. It does extra stuff, though, because I used the amped version. He takes -1 status penalty to will saves, and he gains a weakness 1 to mental damage.
Okay.
Oh, and that damage applies to this as well, so he takes 1 extra damage.
Every point counts.
Mm-hmm.
Are we trying to kill these guys or just disable them?
Well, days can be non-lethal, apparently.
Yeah, Daze is a non-lethal spell.
That damage
We-
went to the Cobalt Mage, not the
We all on
Fire
this-
Alchemist.
We're all on the
Oh,
same
yeah.
page here then, right? Mockery?
Yeah, no, not lethal. Yeah, well, we all discussed it, of course. Yeah, of course.
All right, that is all 3 of my actions, and that brings me to the end of my turn.
Sweet. The Kobold Mage is up. And you see, like, he starts waving his staff around and goes, "You guys just leave us alone. Leave us alone. If we don't, I'll make it hurt. I'll make it hurt." And you see as he waves his staff, these 3 orbs appear around it. And you see, like, they kind of start to gain force. You see him point at. He's gonna point at you, Will. He goes, "Yeah, make you hurt. Make you hurt." And you see, like, these orbs start to just viciously start coming your way. He's going to use, still magic missile on this block, but barrage of force.
Ow.
With all 3
that-
actions, unfortunately.
That one just hit, so let me take that damage. I'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
I have
It's
3
gonna be
fours.
fine.
Luckily, not 3 4s, but yeah. You see he kind of waves the staff around. The first 2 kind of smack into you hard for 10 damage. The other one, you're kind of able to dodge it just slightly bit. They kind of scrapes you for 2 as you see like these just orbs just barrage and burst into you. Just arcane force riding into you. And he goes, "Yeah, make you hurt. Make you hurt. Run away now. Run away."
All right. If I'm learning things about Foundry here. If I click this little damage button, will that just automatically apply the damage to my organs?
Oh, I think I forgot to click you. I did. So should not, I think.
All right, let me try it. It did it. Awesome. So I don't have to manually do it. Hey, okay. That hurt a lot. I have not a lot of hit points.
You see this barrage of force go off. You are up.
Mockery, his sword already out, will kind of raise it and say, "We are the Gavu, and we bring you to justice. I dedicate this combat to the God of Health, the Lord of Pestilence and Apathy, Vincero. May he have mercy on you." And Mockery will sheath his blade. His gums kind of rising as he snarls, and his tail flicking from being a support behind him to seeming like a snake just reared up behind his head. And he's gonna walk to this kobold straight through the fire.
Through the fire?
Through the fire. I take damage.
All right, you can take a D4 here.
That's perfect. That will work perfectly with there we go. I'll take the damage real fast.
All right.
So, as Mockery walks through the fire, as he has dedicated this to the Lord of Apathy, no change in his expression. He just looks cold. He has a cold look on his face as he just walks straight through this kobold. The clear sight of like, this guy, if he surrenders, he has to surrender to the party, not the Mockery. And Mockery will attempt a. Let's see here. A intimidation.
All right. You try to demoralize him.
Demoralize.
All right.
While it's already a 26, is there any bonus for just walking straight through the fire to him?
Yeah, I'll give you a plus. I'll give you a +1 on that.
I'll take it.
Oh, you want a 26 too?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a crit success. So yeah. You see, like, his face, like, as you approached, like, he was looking a little bit cocky, kind of waving his staff after seeing that barrage just burst into will. But as you kind of walk through the flames and keep going through, just keep trudging through with that, like, this dangerous look in your eye, you see kind of fear start to overtake the kobold. And with that being a crit success, he is demoralized 2. Or fear 2, I should say. So let me throw that on him.
And Mockery's just gonna say to him, looking down at this kobold now that he's face to face with him, "You know what you must do. Pray."
You see his hand shakes upon his staff as you tower above him, fear in his eyes. All right, the Pyrokin is up. He's got this bear in his face. But he's a little bit more kind of playing life on the edge. So you see him kind of run past Bear, looking at you guys, smiling even as he bleeds from the arrow that Belric put into him. You see he kind of quick draws out of his pocket using Quick Bomber this little flask. You see like flames spurting out of the flask, and he goes, "We all burn together. We're gonna burn together. You want to kill me? We burn together." And he throws this alchemist fire, and Jigi's gonna throw this at you. You see he kind of throws it, and goes completely wide. Like he came in just so hot. Like he throws it, it goes overhead, like behind you guys, explodes. And he goes, "Too eager." And then you see he kind of just flicks his hand at you with this dagger. And he's going to try to hit you again.
Hey, out of character, I think these guys might be dangerous to society.
Oh no!
They're a danger to themselves, man. Like the
These
soggy bottom
these
boys,
are
man. They just all a bunch of buffoons that deserted.
These are definitely not the Imperium's best. These are.
How did they steal armor and weapons? These are the three stooges. Okay, we got a kobold mage who has done the most out of the team and is currently facing down a fucking Mockery. We got a dude who got KO'd round 1, didn't have a chance, and this chemist right here.
Like Jeet said, like these guys are not the finest. They probably would have died if they stayed for the war. They're like, hey, we can get some stuff and leave, and apparently they can't. As it captured quickly approaches them. But Jeet, you are up. You got this pyromancer ahead of you. What are you doing?
Okay, one action to spread the bless aura even further. As second action, Jeet rushes up. Yeah, let's get in flanking with the bear. And third action, we'll try to clock it just in the face with his extra strong fist. So, select this target and attempted clockening. You know what? I'll use my hero point now for the session.
Yeah, there you go.
Fair.
Yeah, I'll take it. And I think with the fist is like non-lethal by default. I have to take a penalty to make it lethal. So that's 7 points of non-lethal bludgeoning damage. Shield is no longer raised, but that is my turn.
He's looking bloody. How's that punch look as you just like knock into him?
Oh, it's very much like the Batman comic panel where this and that comedic
You see him lose the
So-
as his head kind of jerks back, but you see him come, but he's smiling with like this, just like blood running down smile. He's not competent, but he is crazy as he's staring back at you.
You are being charged for unauthorized use of fire.
That he looks a little confused, like, who authorizes the fire? I burn. But Belric, you are up.
Can I attempt a non-lethal shot on him, like in the
just
arm?
minus to your attack roll. I'm not sure if there's a button you can click and find it. There probably is. I'm not sure where it's at though.
We're just gonna do it in our heads then, if that's
Exactly.
alright.
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
Okay, I like that. All right, so we're gonna non-lethal attack with a -2. But I've also got hunted prey on this guy,
All right.
and then let's just shoot our bow at him, see what happens.
Are you doing 100 shot?
Nah. Let's just see how this first one goes. I think it's gonna hit him. Okay. Famous last
Hey.
words, eh?
Hero.
I hope I don't hit the bear.
Yeah, unfortunately, the arrow just goes completely wide.
Okay. I am going to attempt it yet again.
All right. That will hit.
-2. Okay. That's -2 though, and I've got him targeted.
Yeah. He is barely on his feet. He is swaying.
Barely means
Oh.
that's that was too easy.
Are going to non-lethal maul this pyromaniac?
Yeah, he's just gonna give him a little.
It's a bear hug.
He's gonna barely hit him.
Oh my god, I love it! Wow, this is so bad. Yeah, a
Ladies
bear.
and gentlemen, if you would like some more of those wonderful bear puns, please subscribe to Tegan J Gaming on YouTube.
We're gonna do just a claw.
That'll hit. Break him down. He had 1 HP left after that shot.
That was non-lethal. So yeah, it's just like kind of like he just like paws at his head and the dude just drops. And yeah, he's unconscious, and that'll be my turn.
You see him bleeding out, or not bleeding out, but blood kind of curdling as the bear gets slashed. You see him spin around, smile still on his face as he falls into the sands. Wisteria, you are up.
Yeah. So I wouldn't really be able to tell if they're off guard due to my hide until I like take a shot and find out, right?
That's right.
Okay. So just to be safe, I'm gonna recall knowledge on the kobold mage first. Where's that roll? Trying to figure out what I can tell about him.
Definitely, yeah, you were able to hit the DC there. So he's off guard to you. He's doubly off guard, I guess. Yeah, you see, like he's part of the definitely a minor figure, but he served in kind of the Phalanx's magic unit. What would you like to know about him?
Any sign of any more motivation to why they deserted other than trying to make a quick buck, or like not trying to, go into battle?
Like a psychotherapy?
I'll keep your question on this one because you could probably guess they're just not very competent. So they did not want to be a part of the war. But unfortunately, outside that, Wisteria wouldn't really be able to see too much on kind of why they recall knowledge on kind of why they left outside of that. So you do still have your question left.
Okay, in that case, if that staff is something that would be useful to us, or if it's really just him channeling magic power through it and would be a hunk of wood to us otherwise.
Unfortunately, it would be a hunk of wood to you guys. His magic is coming from himself, it looks like.
Alrighty. Well, then I'll go ahead and take 2 non-lethal shots. Off guard +2, non-lethal -2, so I'll just do a normal roll, but I still get sneak attack.
That'll definitely hit.
Cool.
Oh, hold on. That'll crit.
Nice.
That's shout outs to Mockery's Double Frightened there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
No chance.
Is he bloodied yet or
Close.
close? Okay, all right. I'll take my second shot. Hey.
Holy cow.
Nice.
Um,
Is that
assume it's
50?
not a crit this time.
Not a crit.
Alright.
Yeah, if you target two, it'll show you if it hits or not.
Oh, right. Do that next time. Still
Nice
not
roll.
lethal. That'll be my turn.
Dang.
Is that guy still up?
Oh, actually, no, that does put him down, so take him down.
Yeah, that was
Alright,
more than your crit damage.
I'll the first shot will knock his staff out of his hand, and then the second one will catch him like in the shoulder, and he'll like fall down and hit his head on a rock in the sand and just kind of get knocked out, or hit his head on his own staff as he falls down.
I don't know, guys. Every combat, we're all kind of badasses.
You guys look around, you see these fallen soldiers all kind of in the dirt, some bleeding, but all stabilized. You guys emerge victorious.
Mhm.
What do you guys do with your newfound prisoners?
All right. I would like to pass the manacles off to Wisteria and then walk over to the rest, face away from this, and I'm gonna cast Bullhorn on myself and make an announcement like, please keep your distance, ladies and gentlemen. We are on official business from the actually I think Will would know this, but I don't know on what authority would be a convincing enough either
General
legitimately
Thrax.
or as a lie. Oh yeah, on the authority of General Thrax, we are arresting these criminals. Please keep your distance, stand back. So he's generally just letting people know we're not just randomly assaulting these people in the street. So he's cast Bullhorn on himself to amplify his voice and speak to the people.
Sweet.
Oh,
Yeah, so you
thank you.
able to get some healing in there for Will, 2, and G, kind of patching you up. Yeah, you see these three kind of all laying unconscious at your feet. The little campsite in the sands. What's next for the crew?
I'll take those manacles from Will and just start locking up all their hands, taking their weapons away from them, searching their pockets for coin, but also anything that might be if they have thieves' tools or something, I would take that away so they can't use that to figure out a way to get out or anything like that. So,
All right, Wisteria, give me a perception check. Nice. You kind of rifle through their stuff as you put the manacles on. Between the three, you find 20 gold coins. Looks like the last little bit of their stash from what they could rob from the Empire. You also find 2 scrolls upon the wizard, one for Force Barrage and the other for Fear.
so I got a couple of scrolls. Who would want to use them?
I just point to Will without even looking.
I'll also keep an eye out for any details related to who they are or what unit they were in or anything else that I find, and looking through their tents as well, just for details about them and any more information I can find about them.
Yeah, you do see kind of on their arms, they all bear the mark of the 3rd Legion, which currently is kind of a raid with the Imperialist, but they clearly deserted from that unit. And kind of looking around, you do see some of the boxes and things they've taken. It looks like it was like a mixture of like things they took from the 3rd unit, and it looks like they even took some from the 7th Corps, or 7th Phalanx, which is under General Thrax's commands too. It looks like they kind of hit a couple spots before they left.
That would definitely be something to let the general know about. Are the boxes all empty, like they sold off and stuff, or is there anything left that they still hadn't sold?
Yeah, so it looks like most of the boxes are kind of cleared out.
Okay.
And with the scrolls, they can be learned. So both prepared and unprepared can learn them, but you have to be a caster to be able to learn.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, I thought me only having experience with D&D, I assumed that was just a wizard thing.
No, so it takes some downtime. I forgot how long it takes. I think it could be a couple hours. It depends on level of spell too you're learning, but you have to make either, for you, I think, be an occultism check. We'll go through the rules a little bit later, but yeah, you need some time and make an occultism check. And if you do well, you get to learn the spell. If you do bad, the scroll gets burned.
All right, good to know.
Nice. Cool.
Perfect. Well, you guys are able to kind of loot these guys, get some extra gold, some extra scrolls, put them in manacles. And yeah, they are passed out. You guys beat them down pretty well. They're going to sleep for a bit, able to load them up into your wagon, courtesy of Velnu. Start your journey towards General Thrax.
Are there any? Do they have like anything noticeable upon them that like would make them unique? I'm talking like trinkets or. And the reason I'm asking this is like I'll tell this to the team. Like, we know their fate if we bring them back. I mean, they're going to face justice, which is good. We didn't, enact our own justice, but also like there's a lot of deserters that we watched walk through those doors earlier, right? Like, why are these 3 more deserving than some of those, the people that we've walked through? So I guess I'm asking if there's anything like rings or trinkets or something that like, hey, like throw some blood on something and cut a finger off and be like, hey, this is him. Maybe to spare.
If you wanted to spare, well, and so it kind of depends on how you guys want to sell this to General Thrax. Because Velnu's suggestion was to either bring them in alive or take their heads and bring back their heads as proof. But if you guys wanted to do a little bit of a sell and try to leave them alive, you could try to take, well, depending on how much they let you do it too, take like a finger with one of their rings. Probably the most convincing though, if this is going to be a very hard, well, you're going to have to sell it, you got them prisoner. But their arms all bear the mark of their legion. So
that like a band wrapped around their arm with the symbol on it or something like that?
Yeah, so it's got kind of the number in the middle, and it's a dragon kind of wrapping it around.
Mockery sharpens his sword.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jeet wants to take them to face justice. I don't think he wants to just let them escape. The question you ask is accurate. Like, yes, we let others go by, and these are the ones we are handling. He will shrug and say that these were the ones we were meant to handle.
No,
And to be fair, you guys have, I'm pretty sure, I don't think I've had you encounter any of their soldiers. These are the first soldiers, deserters that you've come across. The others were just kind of Tarian people leaving the Empire. But these are people that were pledged to serve the Empire, trying to leave.
These ones seemed a bit, insane.
they did.
Using words again and again. There might have been something wrong with them.
Well, maybe. Can I want to try to well, actually, first of all, first question. How are we transporting them? We were brought here in a carriage. Do we get to keep that?
Well, you don't get to keep
for transport purposes.
You get to keep it till you get to the general's encampment.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. So once we've gotten them in the carriage, I want to try to, rouse them so they don't potentially get brain damage. If you're unconscious for hours after getting hit in the head, you have permanent brain damage.
as Will is starting to rouse them, I'm gonna be like 20 feet back with my crossbow loaded and pointed at them, and be like, "You remember what this thing can do?"
They're
Right.
they're bound, right? They're bound.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna very briefly play good cop and just like ask them like, "Why'd you do it?" As we are bumping and rumbling down the road in the carriage.
Yeah, you see the lizard folk looks up and goes. Yeah, you see like his eyes like bleary as he goes, and then you see like anger, fear, and surprise like all like quickly wash over his face in a moment. And then he kind of looks and tries to focus on you, Will, as you ask him why he does it. He kind of grunts like, "Why we do what? Why we take what we owe?
Sorry, take what you what?
They owe us. We march, we serve, they expect us to fight. But we don't make much gold. We made more gold from taking. We take what we need."
All right, I think I understand here. I'm gonna quickly just pat him on the leg and then just get out and. All right, that's all I needed to hear. These guys suck.
Wait, shouldn't you ask the others? No,
That's
you
true.
may have different
that's true.
opinions. Worse opinions.
Y'all in agreement with this fellow over here?
You see the mate go, no. We did take, but you guys see him gesture to the other two. Ow. We're not great warriors. We're not.
Clearly.
We want to live.
I understand.
I'm fairly certain that one just wants to burn things. I think himself included.
He is just like that one is just rocking and smiling right now. He is just like cheesy smile, like just rocking back and forth.
Mockery will look to the Cobalt Mage, somewhat something. I'm sorry. You have joined the wrong crowd. If you wanted to live, these two are not the ones to follow. You
I know.
brought the Thrax. Perhaps he can be merciful, but I doubt it. Make peace with whatever god you follow.
You see, he kind of hangs his head and goes, "We get more gold for you? Let us free?"
No, we are the gathered. We cannot be bribed.
Lothario laughed out loud.
Yeah, G thinks mentally, not with what you're offering at least.
Not by you.
Unfortunately, we are not doing this for any sort of coin, so I don't think any amount of money you could offer us is going to get us what we need. If it means anything to you, I do apologize for doing this to you. I understand, but
You see the mage kind of just nods. You see the pyromancer kind of lower his head, still smiling, and you guys hear him kind of whispering a prayer to Shinzo, the god of chaos, as he does. Also, the lizard folk looks at you guys and go, "I want rematch. You cheat. Give me the time to rest. We fight again. Best."
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, what'd Mockery say?
Mockery looked at him first. He's gonna get to the Shinzo guy in the second, but he looks to the lizard folk just like, I can give you a rematch. You will not be able to outrun us, and if you did try to make a dash for it, you'd be shot down. But as a duelist, I'd be remiss to give up the opportunity. And on needle, of course. I want to bring you in alive, and so does everyone else here.
You see, he looks and goes, "All right, give me back my weapons."
Later. We need to get traveling first. We're losing light in the day. And he'll look over to the pyromancer, and he'll kind of whatever prayer to Shinzo he's doing, is it like a actual like written prayer, or is it just like the chaotic stream of thoughts from this guy's mind?
It's literally a chaotic stream of thoughts. And Mockery would know, while the other gods have like instituted like forms of worship for themselves, Shinzo just doesn't really care, and people still flock to him, so they just kind of make up whatever crazy shit they want to and offer it up to him.
Yeah. Mockery will kind of sit next to this guy and go, "You must have great stories of the entertainment you've provided, Lord of Chaos and Deception." And Mockery will show his symbol of Shinzo. I would like to listen while we travel.
This guy, he mutters, and like, even for Mockery, he seems like a couple screws are loose. He talks about fire, his home, fire, some story about this one place they marched to, how he wished he could have set it on fire. Everything relates back to fire after like 3 sentences. Like Shinzo, great God, fire.
Mockery can see why Shinzo may have let this guy go. A bit too competitive.
Ever since this guy was tied up, Jeet has been posted up right next to him. Like, this guy is fire chaos. Jeet is being fire warden right now. Every few hours, he checks the integrity of the ropes, make sure it's not like fully burnt off or whatever. But he's like posted right next to this guy.
And as you check the ropes, he kind of like looks you directly in the eyes and goes, "You know the fire, you know the burn, you know the burn."
I do know fire, but I use fire for order, not chaos.
You don't know true fire then.
Ooh, he's talking about your fire.
This man is the follower of Shinzo and one of fire. Are we sure he won't explode? That's a thing that happens.
I grit my teeth and say, I don't think we are sure, but I will still be right next to this one.
Also, by the way, who is driving the carriage?
Bell knew he didn't want to completely trust you with his own carriage, so he did bring one of his own driver and one of his guys.
What's Velma's reaction just from hearing inside the coach? What if this guy explodes? It's a thing that can happen.
You do see the guard kind of like look back, like very concerned, and just kind of like slowly turn his head back to watch the road. But yeah, you guys are able to ride. It's probably like, especially with them being awake now, because you guys still have a couple of days on the road. It's going to take about 4 days to reach where General Thrax's camp is at. It's probably just fair. You guys are able to watch them. They're not going to try to make a break for it, but it is awkward traveling. The mage keeps trying to bribe you guys. The lizard, he keeps trying to like demand a rematch, but he's okay with you guys like pushing it off. Like he's like,
No,
I demand my honor in a rematch. And anytime you guys like Vodka, if you reach for the blade, he'll go, we can wait.
Wait, this man's all fucking talk. He's all talk. No,
I'll talk, man.
Mockery wouldn't be like if we made camp at any point, he'd be like, no, we do it now. Like, this man doesn't get out of it. He's like, rematch. No, that's not how Mockery do.
You see kind of like rolls like, arm hurt, arrows.
All the time in they fights. I once fought with a broken knee. Let us do it. And he would he would take an
2
arrow and
living
stab into
captives
his own
is still.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Like these guys are such buffoons that I've lost any sort of like will to keep them alive. If you want to duel them. I don't think you should duel anyone.
I said like Mockery stabs himself with an arrow. He wouldn't have an arrow. And it'll turn to Belric and ask for an arrow.
Yeah, it's graciously given to you.
Like, just stabs that right in there. He clearly winces a little bit, but looks at him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's duel.
You see, like he reluctantly picks back up his sword or his shield and flail. He goes, You could just let me go?
No, but I must warn you as well. I have faced and have been trained by many Black Tusks. I look forward to seeing what skills you have. And remember, if you try and run, we have many archers and a bear. He is a good dog.
Cock by repeating cock.
I just realized I have a forbidden thought. And I just realized that's very useful here. I can cause him mental damage if he does a thing that I have predicted. So I can cast Forbidden Thought on him, and then he'll take mental damage whenever he takes the stride action.
Oh no! We can't. No. We need this duel to be pure.
No, I'm saying if he tries to make a run for it, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Wait, is it? Are we doing this?
Yeah, this is your thing, man. You're
he's still like pretty wounded, but yeah, we can do a quick little duel on this side. So
I'm gonna roll for which Godmocker is gonna dedicate this. Actually, no, I know.
What do you
exactly
mean? Are we
which one he's
doing
gonna
this
dedicate
thing?
this to? He's dedicating this to Sunzo. Actually, no, I'll roll for it. Any chance Mockery can use religion to for initiative?
oh sure.
Dedicating the fight?
With Suri, I'll say, before Mockery executes you, I would like to know your name so I can report it to General Thrax.
Bash, greatest of the lizard folk warriors.
And just so you know, I used almost 2 silver on the ammunition during that fight, and so I'd hate to waste any more should you try to run away.
You see, he spits and goes, "You take our gold."
That's gonna be for Rog, Fear and Fury. So he'll take his blade. I dedicate this to the slaughter of the Trask! Rog! Infernal god of fear and fury!
All right, do remember you did say non-lethal. Just keep that in mind.
I mean,
No,
2 out of 3.
This is lethal. This is lethal at this point. Fuck this guy.
It's not lethal.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's a Mockery.
All right, give us an initiative, Mockery.
Alright. Let's get that religion initiative. And roll.
You see, this time he does get the jump on you. Oops. Got both he has selected. There you go. He gets a jump and he runs in quick, spinning his flail. You see him lash out twice, trying to just bring you down, just trying to get away like pure viciousness, since he does not have great skill.
That's going to be an iron command right there. Will he bow?
He is going to kneel.
Oh my god.
He falls to the ground. Yeah, he smacks you. And how's your iron command look? Or how's that go off?
Mockery just looks at him. If you feel the terror in your heart for my tenants, for my dedication to the Black Tusk, bow now or face its fury.
He just drops to the ground and go, "Okay, we done now, right? Done? Fair?
I get at least one hit in.
Yes, dude.
Mockery is going to...
to.
Oh wait, does he have an action?
Oh no, he swung at you twice, moved and swung twice, so he is down, he's prone.
Going to demoralize. Any bonuses to this? Any bonuses to demoralize from this guy right here?
No bonuses, straight roll.
Got 17.
That is enough. He's frightened 1.
Alright, I'll take it, and he's prone.
Mhm.
Alright. Let me just try to get him.
I can't look.
No, I know. I'm on the edge of my seat right now. How? I mean,
Crit. Give us some damage.
It's almost.
Wow.
Will turns to Jeet and just says, "It's almost sad to watch."
So how does this
still up?
look, Mockery?
Yeah, this is.
Valkyrie takes his blade. He kind of slides in his hand to where it's just a flat end, and he just whams it down to bring this guy like straight on his head, cracks it if he can, just brings him to the ground. If he's bowing, and just like, you thought that was enough. Mia! Just stomach flat with the ground.
You
Like
smack
this.
into the ground. He goes out, and he's alive, but he's out pretty much till you guys get to the general's camp. Like he is just drooling asleep.
I don't think there's anything we can do to prevent the brain damage this time.
Yeah,
Fuck
Mr.
you, look,
Psychic
this-
damage spells
this
over
back.
there.
He'll actually call out,
Rogue, are you satisfied? Another who is all talk. Put to the ground.
I mean, yeah. As someone who played Rogue, he'd be very proud of the fear that was instilled from that battle. Was pretty sick. Well done.
So you guys have to haul him back into the carriage as you guys resume your journey. I feel like it's an awkward bit in the car ride where somebody wanted to fight mid-car ride. You guys have to stop. He gets beat up and then re-dragged back into the car, and you guys just go about your day. But yeah, you guys are able to resume your journey, making your way to General Thrax's camp. And eventually you do arrive. You see kind of rows and rows of tents, like kind of stopped as you get to like this makeshift barricade and gate. You see soldiers patrolling, kind of wearing the blacks and silvers of the Etarian army. You see they all wear the 7th phalanx symbol on their clothing, and some tattooed upon their skin. And you see kind of the general's tent ahead. But that's where we're going to kick stop for tonight. Next session, we'll pick up with you guys meeting the general and kind of determining how you guys are going to proceed. See if they'll aid you with the reclaimers, seeing the fate of this band of boobs you guys captured, and got to figure out what's next for the crew. So viewers, make sure you guys tune in. There'll be a week off between, but we'll be picking up. So this will be posted this Saturday, the 24th. For you guys, so check that out. Definitely like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.